immer noch ein bisschen traurig, dass ich gestern Zweiter geworden bin, aber naja. Das dachte ich mir halt auch, ich kann gegen den nicht Day One Kanzeln spielen, wenn ich weiß, dass er Grand Endeavor in der Liste hat. So. Und dann hat er mich halt einfach komplett outdrawed, weil jedes Mal im ersten Game hat er jedes Mal Bunny gespielt, wenn ich irgendwie das auf Sport hatten wollte und musste halt alles committen, um diesen scheiß Bunny auszuretten. Und der
Hello, guys. Hello, can you hear
Hello,
us?
hello.
Hello, guys. Alright, can you say something new? Yeah. No, all good. I just need to mute this, so... Boop, boop. Ah! Well, guys. Welcome to the 11th week of the A.W.O.L Monday League. So, hey, as you can see, I'm not alone today. Runefolk joined me in, so welcome, Rune. Actually, it's really funny because we saw us
Isn't it more like
yesterday.
you joined me at this point? Like I kind of feel like the main caster on Mondays, a 4th week in a row by now.
Oh yeah,
And
okay.
it seems to
I'm
be
sorry,
either
yeah.
you or Cole
So,
here.
thank you so much for letting me in your stream. I didn't know that you just like named your channel A.W.O.L because I would like prefer to name yourself Runefolk, but it's up to you. No. 4th week in a row. Oh man, that's amazing. Is there any point that you want to do like a little break or?
Yeah, next week I'll probably be on a break because there's my birthday and I think I don't want to stream on my birthday. So yeah, next week on Mondays you won't see me. So
okay. Yeah, it's actually pretty funny, guys, because two people in this stream actually met already yesterday, and one of this person already wear the same cap as yesterday. And no, actually, it was happening.
I can take it off, but then
yeah,
then always
yeah.
That's why I have to.
Because yesterday there were like a Tumult Championship, not in Berlin. It was how does you say it? By Berlin. It was just like 100 meters before Berlin. And so some friends of mine and we were drove like up to there, and then there was also Rune that joined in. So we meet at first time. You got 2nd place. I've reached top 4. You lost against my opponent. So basically I've won. Just like guys, as you know. But talking about winning, let's see which deck will take the win for today. Right now, we're gonna be 98 people that playing. I would say for the last 2 minutes, there will be at least 100 people that will play. I would say 7 rounds again. This is something that we will live forever, right? But you're kind of into it. And talking especially about winning, what do you think will be the first place or top spot in general of decks that we will see today?
I think on Thursdays I've predicted Basira and I was right with that if I remember correctly. But now I'm going back to Sigismar. I think those are still looking very strong, or maybe Teja, one of those. But I think I'll give it to one of the Sigismar players.
Oh, all right, okay. I would say today, I will make the call that Teja will be without any losers on the top spot. Not being first place, but Teja will be on the top spot. Die aktuelle Bitrate ist schon von den Abholen. Oh, okay. Something is wrong. I don't know what's happening. So, anyway, guys, I hope you can see us still on the stream. I don't know what I did, but I hope it's still fine. No, still 1 minute left. We're gonna be now 101 players. That's amazing. There was already like an announcement when the invitation, like the end of season tournament will start, right? Do you remember the date?
Oh yeah, no, I don't. But I can.
It was next month. Was it? It was in May. Yeah, it was in May, not in July. It was in May.
It's on 24th of May.
24th. So still like so many weeks up now, but I would say after the 11th week, I would say like almost everyone that wants to join in for those tournaments already qualified, but still amazing. Yeah.
I'm still quite low on volume. Can you turn my volume up a bit?
I can, yeah. Can you hear me?
That would be
better?
That would be great.
Better?
I don't know. It's just what chat is telling. So
is Rune now louder? I'm sorry, guys. Should be better now. Should be better now.
Okay.
Yes. Should be better now, I would say. So yeah. So I hope it will be better now. For Froon. Will be better now.
Yeah, but I think
I can hear him now. Yes. Okay. So maybe you can continue hearing him because the first round will start, and then you can tell me if you still can hear him. So the first round started. So do you directly want to go into your Pursuer gameplay, or you just want to wait for the top table?
I told Freeloader that I wanted to watch this game on round 3, so that we have some time before. And I also said there's one other player that I'd love to take a look at, and that is DSL's Chocobar. And
yeah, Chocobar, Ray is.
They are on. I've seen the table already. Table 9.
Table 9. Okay, then let's jump into table 9.
And we'll definitely see some Yzmir gameplay, but I'm not too sure which hero.
So game is
I'm kind of hoping for a Kesha, but and yeah, it's a Kesha for Chocobar, and maybe some other people here in the stream might not enjoy this as much as I do, but I'm seeing Chocobar, and last week I think it was on our AQZ tournament. There was Matu that was playing a Kesha list, and afterwards they told me it is a Kesha list that was inspired by a Chocobar, and they were even the easy talks, the 5 costs easy talks, actually were Chocobar's uniques, and yeah. No, I'm interested to see what Chocobar has cooked up this time around.
Guys, so
is similar list that Matu was running, or is it something new?
This will be a never-ending story that we're gonna watch now. This will be an infinite game, but yeah, let's see. I'm surprised. Okay, I'm interested in why you want to watch them. We'll see. So we will see just like a basically trading of magical training, and Defend will continue with playing the A.W.O.L Incaster. So just like a common mechanic, and say goodbye to the A.W.O.L Incaster and hello to the magical training back to hand. Would be funny now, just like to discard the A.W.O.L Incaster to play out the magical training again, but I would say that will not be the case for sure. So it's already starting. I can't believe it. So you want to say me there are like 2 another of your goals, or?
That's a good question, but I'd say for Fen, having magical trainings plus these bounces is probably one of the best ways to start off the game. Yes. I don't think that Cloth Cocoon, well, the Cloth Cocoon might actually get some decent value if it's the list we've seen from Matu last week. There are Grand Endeavors and Categories in the list, and so the Fen can never really discard this just because of the threat of these cards. But other than that, the bounces on the magical trainings are pretty much what a Fen is looking for, and just cycling to the cards that are important to you. That is most likely the game plan for this Fen.
Okay, nice decision. Playing out the Aloe, also getting the Aloe anchored. So let's see if the Acacia still got 3 mana left. So there's like a chance of playing out Off You Go from hand, but we will see an additional magical training being played. And here we go, guys. The first expedition it's being able to progress, and also one of the rare moments that the Aloe just like sitting on the board without getting punished.
There would have been a chance for this Acacia here to still actually block this Aloe Vera by playing a rare Alice, but knowing Chocobar's lists so far, they aren't running these rare Alices that I do in my list, because I want to be able to early block my opponent and kind of stall that way, but they are playing the game a bit differently. So just drawing and getting more value while giving up 1 expedition on day 2, or giving up the first expedition on day 2 is pretty good for this deck, and that's already a good amount of stalling. But now, of course, having 2 bodies out on the board is making it a bit tougher to block, but still, basically, if you give up 2 expeditions now, that 0 expeditions you got on the first day are kind of now gotten to, well, 2 more single advances, and that's still in the gate game. That's still totally fine for Acacia. Yeah, and we do see that first easy talk here.
Yeah, it says there are expedition and expedition facing, so like basically easy talk, but Isn't it like one of those cool easy talks for Ismir with like the 5 mana costs
Yeah.
and just like blocking the expedition without any conditions? Okay, that's
Exactly.
interesting. But our fans still got 2 mana left, and will this be the trinket for the aloe
I
vera?
don't think you. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I just want to say that you will not put that to sleep.
Yeah, no.
You will not have to stick this
can't.
forever. Yeah.
You really can't put this to sleep, and this might actually be the Grand Endeavor Plus category list that we've seen last week, and yeah, that's. I think this game can take a while. We were in that position already, and that I think this game might take a while. Do you want to talk a bit about different things that we were doing on the weekend while we were spectating this game to go a while, or do you actually want to be a bit looking further into what's actually going on here?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, guys, we could talk about this game, especially on this hostage list, but basically we can just like wait until some couple of turns so we can actually see the second action, because I would say at this point this fan is quite too slow to do actually anything against it. Maybe I would say I'm not a hostage pro, you know. I'm not a hostage pro, but to talk about the stuff that we did on the weekend. So, as I mentioned, on Sunday we played on the Tumult Championships together in Schöns Eiche. Was it like that? Cards and cards in Schön Weiche, Schön Eiche. Schönweide. Yeah, it was Schönweide.
Oh, okay.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know, guys. But basically, you can hear about this full weekend on my upcoming YouTube video that I've started to finishing off. So maybe it will already be here. Okay, all right, Grand Endeavor.
Yeah.
And I would say like the most cool thing is like actually still that we were like only around 9 player. But I would think it's like not that low players if you think like of where we actually played, you know. The most funny things were actually that we played twice, you know. So we played like for the top 8 cut because we were 9 players, and after that we played for the top cut. So basically, instead of just like after 5 rounds whoever is being first place, then you're just like getting the mat. It's just like was the case.
I was also super surprised that we played 5 rounds of Swiss with only 9 players. I think 4 rounds would have been enough.
Yeah, it was like that. I need like
weren't like 3 rounds already enough?
No, I was like talking to her, and she said it's like the official rules that like Equinox is like putting out on the Outer Red page for 9 players, 5 rounds. And also like the top cut it's like even if you're playing like with 8 players, you need to do like a top cut. Like if you're like going to the officials, but then I told you on the tournament rules there is like and after the made top 8 it made getting top 4 and going for the win harder. Yeah, actually true, you know. And so actually I talked to her, there is like a small sentence or like a topic on rule 3 point whatever, where it stands that the tournament organizer can at any point just like stop going through different routes if this is like helping for the organization. So I was like the best example, if you're being like 64 players and you're decided at first for the top 8, it will be a best of 3 at the end, but like actually you're being like in a bigger room, and actually the guy that actually owns the bigger room says, okay, sorry, instead of 6 hours you only have 4 hours to play in this room. Then as a tournament organizer you couldn't just like say, okay, we will continue the tournament outside in the park or something, and then you can actually say, okay, I will cut like the rounds and I will cut like the top cuts and stuff like that, so it's actually going faster. And she could do that, and she already told me that for the upcoming tournament she would change that. So like on Man of Games, I see what's happening. So that's why, guys, actually being honest, for the joy of Rune, we can just stay on this round. It's completely fine for me. let the hostage pros some fun. But actually, for us on Man of Games, we will not play for the top cut. So we will just like play the regular 4 to 5 rounds. Because like in my opinion, or I'm like that, if you're being lower than 16 people, then you actually don't need a top cut. So for me, like in my opinion. So yeah. So let's see how it goes on, because I also being like, maybe we're going like to it's like in the near of Munich, another tournament, and he actually only has capacity for 8 players in general. And I was like, please don't tell me that we're joining in as 8 players, and afterwards we need to play the top cut after the rounds because it's starting at 8. And I was already like writing to him. I was like, please don't tell me that we're doing a top cut because we don't want to drive 3 a.m. back to home and stuff like that. Yeah. So do you want to continue to talk a little bit about the game that's happening right now here?
Yeah, actually, the Akasha is on the game plan they absolutely want to be on. There's a easy talk on one side that can't be removed at all right now unless there's a acapella training plus Cloth Cocoon in hand, but we see both of these cards already in discard for the fan, and they unfortunately made the mistake earlier on that they just discarded their Cloth Cocoon from reserve, so the Akasha was pretty free to play Grand Endeavor, and now also the Categories, so they have both of their landmarks online, which they want to have. But currently, they are able to just go 1 for 1 each day, and we do see that first Celebration Day coming out now. So this is just a single advance turn for the Akasha, and this one isn't actually hostaging too much, since, well, there's still that Grand Endeavor that is just threatening to take a single advance each turn. But we do see the Tanuki, the third Tanuki of the game coming out here and removing that Celebration Day, and maybe the Celebration Day was a bit early, since you would have blocked one expedition anyway through your easy talk, so you would have traded 1 for 1 and would have played that Celebration Day later. But yeah, it's someone's already like, easy talk is only good in my borrow list. Yeah, it is, but these 5-cost easy talks are do turn out to be also quite good in Akasha, and yeah, this is also a pretty good list, and I'm surprised that these 6-cost Grand Endeavors on day 4, I think, that they are just working out for Chocobar here.
Okay, but if I'm honest, you should start to stream more of your hostage gameplay, because then I'm sorry to say that, but then for me, you will be the first certified troll streamer that's just like doing hostage and waiting until some other big players will join the rounds. But would be actually funny to see. But then with some other rule systems about the timing in it, because then I would have. I just wanted like to share those 2 mode cards because I opened them. Maybe you can see that they're like glimmering, shining, guys. Actually, they're like quite awesome, because you don't need actually to put something over them, because they are actually maybe you can hear it. They are like actually really thick. Maybe you can see it like that, like thick cards. And also, did you open your stuff up? Did you open
not yet. But yeah.
So actually, it happened to me that I've because I opened it with my teeth. That my teeth was going like on the front case of this, and there's like not anything that you can see on that, because they are like very thick and very tough. So I would say those are like the premium stuff that you can get, you know. I mean, the playmat would be better, but would be also nice additional. But actually, I just want to say I want to have like those 2 mode expeditions, because they are like awesome, like they're actually honest awesome. But I already promised some other people that if I'm being able to get more of them, then I just will hand them out, because they can't play any tumults at all in their country or near their country. So yeah.
What do you think about these big cards that get for being the best on your faction?
I mean, at the end, I'm always like that. If I'm getting something for playing, it's always like a nice to have, you know. But I would say if I would like being on the player side and would it like compared to like other card games, I would be a little bit sad, because those bigger cards, like, they're still looking awesome and they're still like a nice to have to just like put them on the place and to say, hey, I've won them. But it's like actually, I would prefer to have like an actual hero on that instead of just like a random card that being like on an art for the faction. And I'm missing like some stamp on that, so it's just like basically like a figure card that got printed out, and I'm honest. I already like. I'm sorry for the front, but I already like found out a shop where I could like do that. Like for a small amount of money, with a hero of my choice and or like a card of my choice, and also like with a quite bit better quality, I would say, from now on. And I would be able to put it on the wall. But it's like a nice addition. So I would say it's like cool. It's like a nice to have, you know, at the end. So. And it's actually like the case because I was like, if someone is like, for example, someone played like Axiom on that day, and even like being able, it's like not that hard to reach like the top 8 like out of 9 players, you know, still like getting something out of it because of playing the faction is something nice to have. Because I was like, if I somehow, I'm not sure if I will ever get to this, to being the first place in any tumult, then if I would reach it like at some point, then I would just like continue playing like a faction that I know would like not playing that much. So I would be able to get like those big cards. So yeah.
Which faction did you play yesterday?
I played Sigisma. I'm honest, it was awesome. Was the coolest thing. I only lost like 2 games. It was the first match against Rune where I didn't got like any removals or sabotage for me.
Winning.
Yeah,
I'm the better AQZ member. That's confirmed.
But at the end, you know, guys, how it went. You know. No, and then I lost like on the top 4 against the Sigisma Mirror matchup because he played the Crown Endeavor first, and then there was like no point that I actually could like beat it. So he also was like, yeah, I don't like the gameplay because it's like not skill. Sigisma matchup are like not skill. It's just like who has the better draw luck. Because he was looking to me, I was looking to him. I was like, yeah, you're being good enough to know how to play against Sigisma. So we're just like, I think we're actually just like we could like open our hands and just like write out the draws because we know what as everyone would like playing. So I know the front row mechanic will come in. I know when like the Crown Endeavor will come in. I know when he would like start to sabotage and stuff like that. So yeah, but I don't know if I would continue to play Sigisma for the upcoming tournaments because I have like a Tisha list that I'm running in the background or want to try to actually play it out. But I was like, I felt like quite unsafe, and I would say at the end, still getting like 3rd place, it's like completely fine for me. Because at the end I got like 6-2 at the end, so out of 8 matches, so okay. It's like okay for me. And I would say beside like 1 or 2 players that are like, you kind of could see that they are like newer players, I think the rest were like completely fine to play against. So like from the skill level, I would say.
Yeah, all of them. The one that actually won, I've seen them for the 2nd time there, but the other ones I do see quite frequently on our events around Berlin.
Yeah.
But, they are still not the most competitive, but they attend a lot of events.
Yeah, play like a lot, and I think it's like the difference that you can see already if like someone is playing Rectionary, because then it's like kind of hard just like to throw out your game plan. I mean, the easiest game for me was against A.W.O.L like twice. So I played A.W.O.L on the Swiss round and then on the top cut. And it was always like that he was like to say, yeah, my gloves, I don't know how does it name where you like your stats become equal.
Winter outfits.
Winter outfits, yeah, there's winter outfits, and he was always promising me with the winter outfits he would win against me, and I was like, but you only have like 3 times in the deck, that's really like hard. But it was actually funny because always when I played against him, maybe it was some luck, he always was missing the region type that I need to progress forward. So every time when I was like an only mountain, then he only had like water and plant region types, or like if I was need to facing forward like in water, it was amazing. It was actually funny because it happened twice, and I was like, yeah, that's amazing. So for me, it was actually a funny Sunday. And for you, how was it for you? Because we almost come to an end. How was it for you?
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed. I've lost to that other Sigisma player twice as well. And actually, after the 5 rounds of Swiss, I would have been first and therefore would have won. But yeah, after that top cut, I was then second and unfortunately didn't get the playmat. But yeah. Other than that, it was still quite nice. But this match we're looking at here. It's actually quite tougher for the Akasha than they would have liked to. They are quite low on cards.
Yeah.
And the Fen at this point has last turn they got a kind of unexpected double advance,
Yeah.
which you could have predicted, seeing there's potential for the Fen to use a support ability into Martingale to take a double advance, since
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
setting that up kind of. And yeah, the Akasha kind of fell for that and is now in the position where they kind of didn't get what they wanted to, and
This would be a
kind of-
double beauty sleep on off you go beauty sleep. This would be another
yeah,
off you go.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
There are actually 3 beauty sleeps in the deck for Akasha, so this might happen. But if there's not another beauty sleep, I think, yeah, this one isn't doing enough. So it's actually the Fen is winning this one, and it's quite unfortunate that the Martingale last turn, together with that support effect, basically won that Fen the game. But yeah, of course, we're rooting here always against the hostage decks, and we're glad that they lost for round 1. So yeah,
I'm actually glad, yeah.
Quite unfortunate.
But guys, playing more hostage so we can talk.
Yeah.
It's like the best thing about hostage, because I'm not willing to cast it, I'm honest. If this would be like a big offline 1000 player event, and there would be like a player that's playing hostage on the stream, whoever decides that this player is getting on the streaming table, I refuse. I'm saying, okay, goodbye. I'm taking a break.
Do you want to take a quick look at table 8?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, surely we can go.
And I think both of them are from Altered Aces, if I'm correct.
No way.
And
Rune,
there's-
we need to talk together.
Oh,
Sit, Crummy. So,
that's a deck I like.
how can I say it? You're not allowed to stream any gameplay in the next coming months. Whatever you're playing.
And
no. It's like
I was chatting with Matru a bit, and they actually told me they liked my Varu list, and are now playing Varu themselves, and I really enjoy that. That is great to see.
Guys, the fact that he's ignoring me, it says everything, right? So, basically, guys, what a surprise that we're going to a Varu hostage.
I didn't know that.
Let's look at table 8. Maybe maybe they're from Altered Aces, right? Maybe they're like from hostage aces.
Yeah,
just kidding.
maybe.
Actually, I would say, out of all like archetypes from decks, those hostage lists, I would say, like, if I'm honest, like, one of the most, I would say, like, funniest list that like actually being played. It's okay.
Now I have to check
because
my
it's
own
creative.
list.
Yeah, because I think it's like even if it's like borrowing. No, what has Rune spawned? Yeah, I can tell you, there was like back in the days, like in League of Legends, there was like a complete troll clan. I don't remember how they were called, but they were like all like actually like high competitive players back in the days, and then they started to troll like every game, like with actually so weird picks. And I would say Rune's starting the same way. And then he would be like on the same clan tag with like hostage or something. It would be just like the clan tag
I mean,
hostage.
unfortunately, this Varu currently isn't looking to win. There is most likely either a small step in the deck, or if there's in the deck,
reinforcements.
there's probably also one in hand.
Yeah, but it's like the
And
reinforcements, so being
Maybe,
at least be forward, yeah. Trying
maybe
to
Martin knows there's no small step in the deck, and therefore they feel confident and that the Grand
Oh.
Endeavor here actually does something. And yeah, that off you go kind of signals that there might not be a
Yes.
small step yet, and that pressure of double Grand Endeavor right now and a Celebration Day in hand to just win the game here if there's no small step next turn
Yes.
is quite threatening here.
Yeah, that's right.
And I've looked through the cards or the discard, and actually all of the cards that are run here, except of that common easy talk, I've also
Yeah.
played in my list that is on 39 cards at the moment. I think I have a suspect. I think I know why they are running the common easy talks over the rare easy talks, because I was theorizing that as well before. I think the worst matchup for Varu is Sigismar, and one of the worst cards in that deck is the Tiny Jail and the rare Tiny Jail, because you can sent to reserve that e-stock twice, and that is not what you want. And that common version is just this common version is protected from the tiny jails, but in my experience, the matchup against Sigisma is so bad that it doesn't really matter if your e-stocks are tiny jail protected, and you kind of just lose anyway because they have so many tools with teamwork trainings. With for me also the tiny jails hit my bureaucrats, which is quite hit my uniques, which is quite unfortunate, and also rallying calls are also super punishing against Varu. So I'm thinking this matchup isn't really worth taking against. So I am still running the rare e-stocks. But there's now a celebration day this turn, and no banishing gate. This Varu is just looking to take the game with that double Grand Endeavor now.
Yeah. Should be looked like that. So, there's a celebration day. Oh.
Yeah.
Amazing. And now it's just like passing. No, you're not allowed to shear him. Don't shear him up, man. Stop it. Guys, like, do you know, guys, that actually Simon start like an anti-AQZ tag? I will start to do like an anti-hostage clan. So if you want to join me, yeah, you can join in. Yeah, cross, yes. Just like sharing him out. I can't believe that.
Yeah, I mean, I've spawned this, right? I mean, I have been chatting with Matu a tiny bit. I haven't inspired them or anything about the deck list. They just told me they liked my take on Varu and probably tried their own now, and I'm enjoying that.
Yeah, this is art code. Didn't you know that? This is art. Actually, talking about that, is Freeloader the only one that's playing today, or is there someone else from our team?
Like
Cole is playing, right?
Oh, true. Cole is playing, yeah.
Yeah, guys, did you know that Cole actually joined AQZ? And did we announce that?
I think we haven't announced that yet.
We haven't announced that yet, but because there was like no stream between that, because he joined after the AQZ championships. It was like after the event. So it's actually Cole and no Franny Rico, as it seems. Usually he's playing. And Void is also not playing today, right?
Yeah. It doesn't seem like that.
Sad. Okay, so I got double Hydra's game 1 was close, so okay, yeah, that's sad. So did you mana them both of them, or just like stick to one? That would be interesting for me. So if you want, we can go to table 16 to Kaifu.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was looking at Moondust's gameplay for a bit.
Oh, we can also go in.
No, I'm down for some Sierra gameplay probably.
Yeah, I just wanted to take a small look. I just like choose them because they're like the first that I saw.
A lot of brass bucks already. Is this the gameplay you expected to see here?
Okay. Your opponent runs W-Try. Yeah, that's like, at this point, what can I say? So, but you know what? What I'm actually believing, this kind of stuff were already founded for Sierra, but they're rated until they show them off, because they're just like rated until the watch list got announced. So I'm telling, I'm telling that. Yes. And there's still like table 17 going on, so we can go to Moondust if you want. Yeah, can just
Moondust for me is
I need to open a window. I need to open.
As quite creative player. I remember them also being on that infinite. What's it? These resupplying mage dancers, and also they were running the Foundry Kojo list, I think, from Itan. It's also a French player. And now they are on Lindaway, but we haven't seen any uniques yet in the Discord. So still there's potential that we see is some uniques here, and also they are going up against Damien's Afanas, and if I remember correctly, so Damien is the player with the insane Balasenkas that double exhaust and discard a card from reserve from opponent's hand. But we haven't seen any of these uniques yet, so there's also still potential to see those. But in 9 cards left, they should have probably seen some already, and maybe that they just said, well, they aren't that worth to play this matchup, so they might not favor to play them. But still we see a Nylum here with a 6/6 boosted Mana Moth, and that is looking quite cool here. But Lindo's turn now, and they kind of have to decide what to do. No more sacrifices, no more obvious sacrifices. There's still potential for Gift of Self from hand, even though, oh, actually there isn't. All 3 Gift of Selves were already played. So the next tool to sacrifice here would be another Moth Lantern or a Baba's East Buff from hand. And an Armor Rock from reserve isn't doing it. And now Afanas has the chance to beat out that Lindway on the hero side with only 1 Moth on that side. But
Fresh
that
ammo.
Joyride is most likely also doing it by giving 3 boosts to that Maw, and so they go up to 9 in Forest, and they should be taking this.
Yeah, should be. Only 1 G, and there's the other
We
one.
see the GG coming out. And yeah, Damien taking the first win for himself this tournament around. So
Yeah, you're
we
right,
might
Kid,
see some Balasenkas on the top tables today.
I mean, look, already at the first round for the stream, so we were seeing hostage tries and now Lindy. And I can tell you, we will also getting to see a Basira in action. We saw the infinite press buckers from Zero. There's like not anything left.
I'm not too sure if Freeloader is actually on Basira. I haven't checked it yet, but I'd expect it since he was running it the last days, and he still has his challenge to get a 39 cards entry on Basira. So I kind of expect that. But do you have a table that you want to watch now?
I would say if I could choose like a table. Good question. Let's see. So if you want,
so next round.
next round we're watching. Maybe let's go to table. Hold on a second. Oh no. We can go to table either like 7, because even if we already saw like dimming for like 2 rounds, playing. Or we can also join in table.
Yeah, we can go to table.
Yeah, let's go to table. Yeah, let's go to that table because I don't find the other table that I want to come in. It would be Kite Snow against Damien. Yeah, and Kite Snow. I would say also like a regularly German player that's playing now in the tournaments. I like that. That like besides Sim, also like Justin and. Yeah, if someone of us is like playing from the DACH region, of course, it's like always also like a nice to have. But like in general, I like it.
I've been checking our I've been checking our AQZ leaderboard, and currently Kaisen is the player with the 4th most wins in our 10-week series currently, with 30 total wins.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And Void got overtaken on his first place because he didn't show up last week.
Oh, Void.
Yeah.
You cannot just like take free time. They need to be at least though. Just kidding. So why I choose it is because not of an Afanas surely. It's because of some awesome fan gameplay that we can see. And as you know, maybe guys, if there are like heroes that I like to watch, that is like Eva fan or actually also Tisha. I start to like to watch Tisha. So yeah, let's go in. Afanas against fan. No, the stream. And now, now he's getting scared. No, but like a cool matchup to see how this will went. We will see the A.W.O.L Incaster with the magic drink, I guess, against the Off-You-Go actually. So now it will be the starting turn for the FS. And here we see the Magpang Holder roll a die on +4 when Ray return a spell from a reserve to your hand. But the Magpang Holder at a cost of 2-1, that's cool. But we will see actually the Nilam River Tree will be played out.
Yeah.
Actually sad to see because this is like the last card in Isbia that I'm still missing for a rare version. So I'm trying right now to see that. After opening like 20 cases. Well, not like 20 cases, guys, but it was like actually sad. And we will see actually the A.W.O.L's Incast, I'm sorry, the Clav Cocoon will be played out for the River Tree. So now the Magpang Holder getting played out on the Hero Expedition. There's the Royal Dice. So also the A.W.O.L's Incast are going back. Oh, wasn't it like that? A spell. It's not a card, it's a spell. I'm sorry, guys. It's a spell. But yeah, nice. I would say that's like actually quite good because when I'm playing against Athanas or seeing Athanas in Legendary, if there's like something that is not good for an Athanas, is like the lack of characters that's actually being in play, that you're being able to just like boosting out. So if you're being able to like in the point of view of resources to put away as many characters as you can, this actually could start hurting the Athanas because maybe there was already like the decision making of, okay, I have the Nilam River Tree, so I could just like keep up some more spells on my hand because maybe I will get it like on the upcoming turn with like a Rime Frost or some other cards.
And the even more brutal thing for the Athanas here, they are quite reliant on actually having that.
Is it deck type like that? Okay.
Yeah, the deck has only, next to the uniques, there are only 7 characters in this, and the uniques are 5 and 4 costs. So they are quite reliant on that Wither Tree. There are of course also still Moth Dual Flames, so that's bumping up the character count to still 10, and some field reinforcements getting even more characters or tokens out. So they still have ways to get characters, but yeah, with only 7 characters in total, you're still quite limited. And we do see that first Balasenka of the game, that is
played out of go.
No, this one is double exhausting, and when there are 2 or more exhausted cards in reserve, your opponent has to discard a card from their hand.
I was thinking of the off-you-go where sometimes I miss something, guys.
Yeah, no, that was just discarded.
Don't ask me. I'm forgetting like stuff really fast.
Last game, Damien unfortunately didn't see Balasenkas, I'd assume, and now they did. And if Case knows by now pretty much only playing from reserve, because every card they draw is likely getting discarded here. And they can't really play from reserve against Balasenkas, and if there are now recurring helping hands and even more Balasenkas, this game is looking very tough for resources for the defense side. And another off-you-go has to leave the hand.
Like 2 off-you-goes. I mean, at the end, as you mentioned, there are like not that many characters, and also all uniques are like being at the cost of 5. Maybe it's like not the biggest. No,
not all of them are 5.
Not all of them.
There
Only?
is 2 of them are actually only 1 is 5 cost from hand, and the other 2 are just 4 costs with the same 4 costs. This one. So these Balasenkas are quite insane. There's that helping hand that I just mentioned, and Fan currently not even looking to take a single advance with that Whole of the Wisp in that expedition. So they still have to play something else from hand here to actually get that expedition win, and they don't have it. And already these Balasenka strat is looking great, even without the Nylum.
And I can tell you, this were happening again.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, so the Arafan will be the starting player, so there's like a chance to at least not having like up to 2 cards in reserve to get in exhausted. but maybe the FNers will just like then start to deciding, okay, our X has the helping hand to still discard a card from the hand. So there's like still the chance, because it's just like not saying from the opponent's reserve, it's just like your reserve in general. So you also could like choose your own reserve if you want to do that. But maybe this would be like a good plan for our fan right now, just like to make sure to, for example, just like, even if it could be like hurting, removing the A.W.O.L Incaster with the reducing cost, playing out the Sandband, and then actually the FNS needs to... Oh, okay. Yeah. But also you can just like change a card in your reserve, and it will be the Alice. You may put a card from your hand in reserve. If you do, you may discard target character with hand cost 3 or less. Not having quite much right now.
Yeah.
But here we go. The Balasanka will be played out again. So there would be like a double exhaust and a double, just like this, like again, needs to discard a card from the hand. And
exactly.
I would say now, if we will not see the A.W.O.L Incaster, okay, it will be the Anansi. But maybe at some point, maybe Kaizo said like, okay, it's fine. just continue with the stuff that you want to do. I will not.
I mean, this strategy is kind of only single advancing most of the time with these Balasankas.
It's working.
And if Kaizo actually had a way to advance last turn, they would still be even. And yeah, probably the Safanas deck should have small sub advantage. I can check real quick.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's actually in the last times Damon played this list, there was actually only a single smart chip in the deck. So there's potential that they draw it early and they can't win that way. But other than that, if they are just able to trade each day by playing Balasankas, and then they get to small step turn, they should be winning most of the matchups. So this is quite a decent card for that way. And I'm interested if this list is also playing a bit better into things like the Sigismar lists.
Yeah, and Jurusity Balasanka will be played out again. So actually, I also have some unique of Balasanka. I need to check if they have the same conditions, and then asking Damien of just like copy paste the deck list. So we will see the double exhaust, the A.W.O.L Incaster, and the magical training. Quite some cards that actually not being good for our fan at getting exhaust because I get to play. And the Alice will be discarded from hand, so now it will be the the turn of fan, so still being able to put out the Sandman. And here we go, it will be the awesome Mage Dancer. When you roll one or more dice, I can run boost. You may return a card from a reserve to your hand. Amazing.
I'm a bit surprised they didn't pick up that magical training now, but maybe they are just scared of the Afanis putting out stats onto that hero side, and they just want to be able to contest it a bit better, and the next turn just play out magical training as a first play by returning it with that Incaster now. But maybe we see either another Balasanka or another helping hand, and a second Balasanka here would kind of be pretty brutal, because Kaiser couldn't play any more cards this turn, and only putting out this Mage Dancer as only threat isn't too much. And we do see a Mage Dancer, which is looking to not be so super impactful yet, but it could just put out enough stats. And Field Reinforcements is putting out 3 stats total, so not advancing yet for Afanis, also not blocking, so therefore they just go for the draw. And Fen can now play out their Incaster to return that magical training, most likely.
And
still not really happy about this turn.
Yeah, but Balasanka being erased, so maybe the comeback for our guys. So I mean, what I talk about the comeback, but still like being able to close it out. But this is like actually really painful, because it's basically your whole game plan as fan, like your whole gameplay at all, getting kind of destroyed.
Yeah.
So Since I'm getting curse deck sound anyway, I might as well jinx myself as for a Killian shaking in his boots right now. 2-0 on Basira. Oh boy, that's awesome, Freeloader. But maybe now we could already like prepare you for losing the third round so you can win the rest of the rounds. So it would be not like on the final match. So you're not being like that set, you know? So maybe that's okay. I hope so.
2-0 on Basira, that's great to hear. I love that. And I know these uniques that Freeloader is playing, and I'm hoping for some pop-offs next game.
You know, 5-head strats. Your 5-head strats. And exhaust up to 2 cards in reserve when I leave. Hello. If there are 2 more exhausts in reserve, target opponent discards a card from their hand.
But this one is only leaving the expedition, so they don't have to discard yet. They could play out both of their cards from hand, so they don't actually discard anything. But yeah, this one is additionally to exhausting and discarding cards from your hand. It's also removing permanents. So also quite a decent Balasenka, I'd say. Not the best stats, but yeah, absurd effects of course.
So now, like, it's true. But now, like, the biggest question in chat, guys, are those your own uniques, Freeloader, or is it like killing uniques? Because ours, the AQZ Congo line, I start to roll once you get the subject result.
Now the uniques from Freeloader today are actually mine. So
oh, it's your uniques. Actually, I have the feeling, Freeloader, every time if you're playing like a coach list, like a list in general for Bravos, you never play with your own. No, I know you got like 2 uniques for coach. That's your own, right? Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
I remember it that way as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be, yes. So the magic training would be played out. So nice stats going on to those mage dancer. Defend Ruby passing, and now the magic training could be simply played out again, right? True to its username. Yeah, there's a reason I called it Freeloader. And there will be the Muff to Flame, and then getting the boost to the Belasanka or just like to the Muff, and
so even blocking here,
just like blocking it out. And Ridderby is more step. Actually, funny quote yesterday, when like Rune was starting to play like Afanas, they were like shouting in the room of like, first of all, like, oh no, Sigismar, boring deck, and then there was like, oh no, Afanas, free win with small step, and then you were like, I'm not playing it. Like, wait, what? You're not playing small step? And you're like, I don't need it for my deck. It was so funny. You were like, what? You're not playing it? It's like, I don't need it.
It actually could have won me the final game, so maybe.
I mean, the Crown Endeavor actually could also won me. Actually, I'm not joking. Like the mirror match. Like actually, if I'm honest, because I was like I was forward. I was like ahead of expeditions. I could play it out on the turn that I like actually throw the monolith in my head. But I would go back to the Crown Endeavor gameplay, or I will remove any relent.
So usually the reason why I don't think Small Step is a super important card in Afanas is because you usually, if you have good setup and you have these super strong uniques, you most likely have enough card advantage to just win the late game anyway, and therefore most of the times don't need that Small Step. But in very tight games where you're low on resources and you just probably don't have the resources to you get to game point, but you don't have the resources to close out games, then in these types of games, Small Step is the most disgusting card ever, because your opponent knows otherwise you wouldn't have been able to win the game unless you had that Small Step. And just for these games, Small Step is important, and I think that Sigismar can actually often enough push Afanas to be quite low on resources, so that these Small Steps late game can be very impactful. And I was actually on game point, since my opponent gave up one turn by playing Grand Endeavor, gave me double advance, and I just advanced once after to get to game point. But afterwards I was too low on resources to close out the game. So I could have won maybe with a Small Step in my deck.
Yeah, but we'll never find it out.
Yeah.
Maybe like, is there like any? So you're playing again on the Tumult, right? In Berlin, the other one. Exactly, it's like being on
Yeah.
the same day than our Tumult in Dresden. So, yeah, but maybe there will be something.
There
But I'm the second player.
seems to be a bug currently on our table.
Now, I
where
mean, if I
Damien
were talk
can
so.
resolve the effect, right?
When I leave the expedition zone, if there are 2 or more exhausted cards in reserve, yeah, actually, so right now the A.W.O.L incaster will returning a card back, and afterwards, actually, I would say I'm not like that deep into rules, but I would say because it's like the fan is the starting player, so like taking over to start the action, if like something leaves the expedition zone, the card will returning back, and there's like a high chance that the Belasenka actually could remove the card afterwards, because the effect is like not happening on the same time, I would say, because of the starting player appearance.
Yeah.
Maybe like Cole, maybe you know that, or maybe like yeah, Cole, you know that. For very mobs like there are indeed, yeah, a bug. I don't know if the Belisenki are considered bugs.
Yeah, I'd say that there are also type of mouths probably, so you could consider them be bugs. Yeah, I'd argue that's fair.
Yeah.
And yeah,
But I would say
Yeah.
like this is like the ruling behind it. What do I know? So like we have the Arabos Incaster and the Belasenga, and both of them have like the effect of when I leave the expedition zone. So how will this affect handling now? Because Fan will be the starting player, so return a card back to hand. But the Belasenga says if I leave the expedition zone, then you need to discard a card from your hand if we have 2 or more exhausted cards. So is it like a correct order that because Fan is the starting player, that the Fan is returning the card back, and after that the leave the expedition zone effect from the Fanas would like start to going on?
Oh,
Like the effect will resolve?
I'm not sure. Maybe Kaisno could have played around that a bit by just returning one of the exhausted cards and not the Mage
yeah.
Dancer, so they only had one exhausted card in reserve. But
Yeah.
now the Afana's going first, getting to double exhaust again, and then Fen being on 3 cards they can play, and 2 of those are Hathors that are quite bad. And not contesting the water expedition. Actually, Damien is exhausting the Hathors over the
first
other
player
card.
first, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking that because you have like the turn order of first player needs to resolve the effects first. They're like not happening in the same time. Yeah.
And
it's like being with the A.W.O.L incaster effects. They're also like not going like on the same time. If you have like 2 of them, it's like resolving the first effect, then the other one. That's why you're being able to put both of them like back. So yeah, I would say like this would be an interesting question, like in a real life tournament, how a judge would handle that. But for me, if I would be like a judge, and also like Code say that now, I would say like, yeah, it's the first player, and you could have a chance that this effect were not like being triggered because of, yeah, as you mentioned, with the reserve not being exhaust. So yeah, so GG to Damien. Interestingness. I would need to search for my Belasangas to see if I can run this list as well, guys. Maybe we can do it on stream. There's some weirdness with versus
Chocobar taking his first game.
Now, it's not a task, it's actually just like leaving the expedition zone for the uniques. So it was actually the same effect like the A.W.O.L incaster leaving the expedition zone. And our question was if this effect's happening like on the same time, or if like the starting player is the preferred player to use the effect first. So after that, the Belasenka can use the effect of you need to discard a card from your hand. That was like the question. But yeah, let's see if this would be like the case. So did you set the table? I'm sorry, I didn't listen to it.
No, I'm just switching into these hostage games between rounds, and Chocobar is currently looking to take his first game. And you can look for. Actually, Overloss is playing to you. Do you want to?
Oh yeah, we can go to Overloss. It's a local player for mine. And what do you think about the decklist from his gold rank?
I haven't seen too much, but these uniques of his that he played yesterday, they look quite nice. Just producing tokens based on how many bureaucrats you have, and
which
playing
table
a lot of
is Overloss? Which table?
table.
Table 30.
Table
Table 30.
Table 30.
Yeah, for me it's like, if going to let you receipt, guys, he's playing Gorang, and I would say, like, I don't see like 200 Gorang players every day, but from all Gorangs list that I was facing and watching, I would say his Gorang list is like, for me, in my head, the way of how Gorang needs to be played, but there's like still like the 1 or 2% in my head that's like actually missing of like closing out the games, because there were like turns where I played against him. Yeah, I lost to his, yeah. It's like an actually amazing list, because somehow he's like, I would say he's like the only player that I know, and I know in like in real life he actually also attractive in real life. Man, stop it, Keelan, man. Man, Keelan. Man. So, but actually, this is like, he knows how to just like blocking you from like progressing most of the time. But as he mentioned, like for himself, when I talked to him, he's like, sometimes he is like, it's actually hard for him for closing out the games. So there, I would say like for his list, there are like this 1 or 2% missing of actually just like the finisher. You know what I mean? Because it's like an awesome list. It's like actually an awesome deck list. And there were like a time we played on Friday against each other a turn. I was actually progressing, and I was just like 1 expedition ahead for winning. And he actually make it happen that I need to have like an additional 8 turns for actually winning out the game, because he was being able to block it. Because he just like kept the right cards in hand, and was always like blocking me. And I was like a Sigma playing out like my cards, and I was like, oh no. What should I do again?
But it currently doesn't look good for him. So with sadly. 1 mana left and a 6/6/6 red entering the board on either expedition, and also that physical training is, if there's, I think there's nothing that can actually prevent this from happening. Maybe a trooper on that hero side can, not even that is doing it a lot. And maybe that hypothermia is a way, but not even that.
Oh, the hypothermia. So GG. Yeah, that's true. This would be a GG. So sadly, not being able to get out of that, it seems really wacky. Yeah, but actually, if Overloss will take some more time, I would say this list, we're getting better and better. But I don't have like any clue about it. So we talked a little bit about those lists, what to change and what not. But will be funny to see actually.
That is a very cool Dorothy Gale. And
ooh.
I have these kinds of Dorothys for Ysmir, but and Bravos they are also working quite nicely. But I think in Ysmir they might still be a bit better, because Ysmir has better ways to after you their turns, and I think that's making them a bit more effective. But still awesome uniques, and getting double removal on a Dorothy feels very nice for the late games.
In Ellie yesterday and couldn't escape because next round would start right after my game finished. Oh, that's the thing. And Justin Training, hello to the chat. How are you feeling? You're going to start getting better? Because actually Justin Training and myself, we wanted to do something on the Cactus, like a big congress in Leipzig. But I didn't got like any time because of work, and afterwards like I joined like actually I forgot that I also need to join like a big birthday party celebration party from my grandpa, and Justin Training got sick sadly, so could like show up. So I hope you're feeling better, you're doing better. So yeah, if you want we can just go to the first table.
Sure.
It's actually funny because Craig Gurks, actually the name is just like declined on my it's actually finished. Okay guys, it's actually finished. So maybe we can see. Thanks a lot. I will try to work tomorrow again. Oh, okay. Yeah, but we already talked about another conquest that's happening in Saxony. It's like the Spielemesse in Dresden, where Equinox already were represented last year with Asmodee. So we're actually started planning if we maybe could manage to do a tournament there, since maybe it's a high chance that Equinox actually would just like being there anyway with SPD together, or like with Chainmanchik then for SPD. So maybe this will happen. Maybe this will like the thing that we can do together and actually meet us if we're not meeting like outside something else. And talking about meeting someone, we need to meet Freeloader because on round 3, I guess, we have a meetup, right, Freeloader? We should not miss it out, right? It would be on table 12 against Achate Matata. Oh yeah, Matata is an amazing guy because it's like the third person. I was just like, I'm sorry, guys.
Who are you thinking about?
I was talking about, right? It was on the Outright Marketplace. Every time someone is just like selling like an S tier token spammer unique, and for example saying, oh, this unique will cost around 250, then he's just like writing out, no, I actually got this one with better stats and better conditions for 50 euro less. So just like for you. No, it's Mananka. Maybe it should be. It's Mananka, Matata, yeah. And it's actually funny because I was like, he was also like toting me that like one time, and I was like, I'm actually sorry, I don't want to scam people. I actually bought this unique for the same price. I just want to sell it like for the same price if I'm not playing it anymore. But he's actually helping out with that. So he was like, there's like a paper Harrod at the cost of 1.2 and target expeditioner. For 250, for 350, and he was saying like, yeah, I got this unique for 200 actually, and I was like, that's amazing. But there's actually another paper Harrod for 200, right, 50 right now. That's actually doing oh no, it's only Hero Expedition. Okay, that's like way too much money. But yeah, anyway, we're not. Maybe I will talk about the marketplace guys at some other points because I have to tell something. But anyway, let's go directly in. So, Fan against Basira. Interesting matchup right now, and we see the Ouroboros Incaster double on reserve. So potential of already got like 6 mana to play out something like bigger if runs too.
Yeah,
so,
and for the Basira had a pretty nice start with that 1 cost into 2 cost opener and putting out 2/2 stats on both sides. So that Incaster wasn't able to get a expedition win. And yeah, the Basira therefore got that first expedition lead, and that's kind of what the Basira is trying to accomplish. They do want those early leads in the game to just play off of that and hopefully play out some Akluts to just trade 1-for-1 rather safely, because that Aklut body is quite huge and can oftentimes just win an expedition solo. And if you're forcing your opponent to play from hand and they already have 2 exhausted cards in reserve, they are inclined to not contest that Aklut because they don't want to overload their reserve by a lot of cards.
Yeah.
So Aklut is oftentimes just an easy way to trade. And if you're ahead on Basira, which you can oftentimes get with a decent early game start, you can just trade a bunch with Akluts and hope that you're able to convert off of Akluts alone. But also Freeloader is running some decent uniques that I've been borrowing, and they are also threatening to take some games in the late games, and they are just putting out an absurd amount of boosts, and they are quite nice.
Yeah, it's true. So let's see how this will be continuing. So the Basira actually giving out the boost, so being a strong card is directly sitting there. I mean, at the end, at some point, defense still would be just like being able to progress forward on the side. Just like to play
there's a Hathor in hand now for Fen, this
could be
Serengas is getting a bit punished just because that Hathor is now looking to trade.
Just like your Magpang holder.
Magpang is also doing a similar thing here. So that's actually a bit of a punish by trying to contest that Incaster here from Freeloader.
Yeah, so being able to progress, plugging it out, so returning a card back, and I guess it would be the magical training.
Yeah, I would assume that as well. It's
the
best card for Fen.
What a question! I'm sorry, guys. will be, of course, the magical training for that. So Freeloader will be the starting player now. Still got like the awesome play dancer in reserve in combination with the Shibun. And oh, we actually see the Cloth Cocoon being hanging there in reserve. And since there are actually like 2 arrow bows in caster, there's like a quite chance that our fans could just like play it out, removing the Haven Prowess Bastioner, and still being fine with that. And why is it that you wanted to wait until round 3?
Yeah,
Towards-
so the curse, of course, it's harder. No, I actually didn't really have a reason. I just kind of didn't want to watch from game 1. But yeah, maybe now the curse hits a bit harder. But yeah. And we do see a first unique, and this one is a Chiron that is giving 2 boosts whenever anything joins the expeditions, and has a condition that 2 characters already have to be boosted, but this condition is quite easily met by just the Basria boosts and also currently the Chiron that is sitting in reserve.
Yes.
But I would expect either there be Chiron plus 1 cost from hand, but that a cappella training here is very, very strong for Fen. And a cappella training is probably one of the best cards into Basira lists or into Bravos lists, since they are lacking that card draw. And this might now get a bit tricky for Freeloader.
Yeah, that's true. So the Freeloader now could like either decide to play just like for that turn out, because even to play out the Plate Dancer and being able to give him like a boost or something like that, but it will be actually the Chiron that getting played out. So at least like strong cards still being able of that, because the Chiron we're getting the additional boost. So right now, still being able to use the ability of the Chiron, so boosting something again, also being able to use just like out the effect from the Basira, so being able to at least getting strong cards still on board, but at this point still being able like for our fan to just like blocking out a different expedition
or Mechpanks that are
Mechpanks
blocking already what Freeloader's trying to do here. And that is quite unfortunate. I'd hope there be a 1 cost now still left in hand for Freeloader to just put out some more stats on the board, but I think even that might not be able to contest. Actually, that should currently be able to contest a single Anansi, but of course there are those support abilities that cost reduce for the fan. So an Anansi could be played out alongside an Incaster to get up to 888 stats, and that pretty much shouldn't be contestable anymore. Yeah,
and there will be the Anansi, and it's like I gain 1 boost for each card in each player's reserve. That's an amazing unique. Like, I mean, base stats for 1/1, like, there are like some reasons, we could like take a closer look at that. But actually a nice card for 2/2, being able to do that, but actually there is the Tiny Chin, so being able to boost something out again, so just like double boosting it, so prevent from progressing. And now it's actually really good for Freeloader, because usually it could be like the Anansi into the Cloth Cocoon and then just like removing it out and still being able to put something, but there would be the fleeting is actually that's sad, because the fleeting is like actually doesn't matter at all for the Tiny Chin, because it's going to the mana zone.
Yeah, now Fen has to commit another support ability to play out that Incaster to get that expedition. Or maybe they just have a Martingale as well in hand, but they still have to discard 3 cards from reserve then. And they do use that Incaster and use a second Incaster.
The Haven would probably be target, right? Nice. Or just like progressing. The Haven would getting target. Alright.
Okay, interesting.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I would say that the mistake with the a cappella training was like either of just like I need to remove it like at any point anyway, but actually not quite necessary. Actually like that, or it was just like on the other side of actually maybe, because usually the Taichi getting in play and then like with any boost, so you're like I can remove it for the next turn.
It was such a weird turn by this fan here. They just
but it's actually maybe happening because in the head, like in the head it's like he playing the Tiny Shell, and then we'll play it in the next round with the Haven. But actually, just like decided not to remove the Haven. It was just like an additional card to actually progressing forward. That's interesting.
Yeah, and
So
they could have just played Incaster. So they just spent their entire reserve they could have kept one of their cards in reserve, but they actually have a second unique that is this
gain 1 boost for each card in your reserve.
That's a Nancy type effect, and
That's
Frida are currently not really having a lot in reserve, so this fan isn't getting the most value out of these cards, but they are still looking to put more cards into reserve. There's likely gonna be slider fans in this deck that are just cycling your magical trainings back into your hand and are putting additional cards in reserve, so these Anansi type effects get even more value. But it's a bit unfortunate that you have a Anansi effect on an Anansi, which is only cost reduced, so this one isn't getting the highest unique value in the deck, and we do see
bouncer.
a bouncer coming out now.
That's hurting a lot.
I would kind of expect either the magical training being hit or that 1-cost Studious Disciple. But I think I might prefer the magical training a bit. But depends on if you're expecting more card bounces.
Yeah. I mean, it could be like a targeting magical training for now.
Yeah.
Could be, yes.
Frida still has to play on very low resources this game, so this is still very tough decisions to make. And deciding to take the resources from the Sven for now and hoping that they can also now force them to play on low cards. But they do have that second magical training already.
Game still being able to play out the Anansi and the Studio Disciple. Actually, amazing uniques. Even it would be like a 0 setliner. I can run boost for each card in your reserve, and then actually being able to float the reserve also like with low cost cards. It's amazing. So the Purpose Play Dancer we're getting into play. The additional boost going to the Haven Bouncer. Still 1 mana left for Freeloader. So maybe there could like a potential of like some couple cards that like being a 1 cost. So let's see if this will be the case for now. But as we can see, still 4 mana left for our fan, and it could be either just like playing out one of those cards, not getting like quite the stats that wants to have, but at least the Anansi could just like blocking out, and the Studio Disciple could be able to progress on the companion side.
I would honestly expect there to be another 1 cost in hand here for Freeloader, especially since he rammed last turn, so he was on 6 mana.
Ooh, okay.
But actually that doesn't have it.
But there's like the Magpie Hoarder, alright. So the Magpie Hoarder being able to not only blocking the expedition, also Matata will be able to progress forward. It's getting closer and closer, each of our players being on the same expedition stats, so 3 expeditions, 4, to actually 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I can count still. Still being able, actually being left to actually progressing. Will the starting player. Oh, the Tanuki actually getting in the reserve.
Yeah, that's
sometimes it's hard. Yeah,
for fan, but it's definitely good for the Basira here, seeing that not being able to target the bouncer for now, and them still having the extra resources that they can work off, and also that bouncer getting a lot of boosts. And we do see the first Aklut of the game coming out, and that is pretty much what you wanted to be seeing at this point for Basira, just getting these cows out and exhaust whatever's in reserve.
Just want to say that Ko is actually facing the hostage Akira, and there are like 2 Izzy talks right now that being played, so I mean, I'm sorry, Cole. I'm sorry that it's happening to you. No, but anyway, so the Aklut being able to the Tanuki played out from the hand, the Haven Powers are getting sabotaged, and you might put a card from your hand in reserve if you do roll a die, a boost, or otherwise or boost. Okay, interesting. And when another character joins your expeditions, if you control 2 or more boosted characters, target character gains 1 boost. autos mass boosting. I'm feeling like that I'm looking like actually teacher gameplay. With autos boostings. With autos boostings.
That's the second mass boosting unique that we see already. But the third one actually isn't. The third one is it's boosting itself, but it's drawing. And that is also quick. But notably here, Freeloader is getting again a expedition lead by playing that that trickster and winning on that water tile. So yeah, now they should feel quite comfortable by playing out that cow pretty much second play or first play next turn. They unfortunately don't quite get first play, but yeah, it's still quite tough for Fen now to kind of contest this Aklut. But of course, they do have 4 cards in hand. They do have actually they might not have magical training yet, and that header resupply also isn't looking too great for them at this point.
That's true. But
there is the third Tanuki, and
there's the third Tanuki, and the Akhlut's getting removed. Still quite tough for our Freeloader to actually face against it, but there would be the second Helfen. And
that's
what I like about the second Helfen, it's like at some point, I don't know why I have the feeling, but when I play against Björn, that is like running Kojo, every time when he plays out the second Helfen, it's always like the please give me something good or otherwise it's over for me feeling.
Yeah.
And so right now, every time when I see like Prowess deck playing out the Helfen, second Helfen, I'm like, yeah, there needs to be something on the really good on the reserve, because otherwise it's not so good. But when we see the tiny chin, mighty chin, not the tiny chin, it will be the big one. Going into place, so at least we'll be able to actually progress forward on the companion sides.
This is
Tanuki could block it out.
Yeah, Tanuki is most likely going to block this out, but this leaves open a trickster play for Freeloader here to take that expedition, and also actually this is blocking as well.
Boosters. Yeah, so many boosts. I totally forgot the boosts.
Yeah, these Haven boosts are quite nice, and also the Basira ability. So Freeloader is going into this actually with that Mighty Jin. He was actually pretty strong.
The effect of our bow trickster would be still activated, right?
No,
I'm just like wrong.
It's not. You can't put a card in reserve. And you also
in reserve. If you put it in reserve, if you control characters,
that one isn't triggering because
it's triggering
it's not triggering on its own.
Yeah,
should enter, and the from reserve ability, you have to put a card from your hand in
Time
reserve.
To buy all the uniques, easy talks on market and burn them. I mean, so at some point, if you want to manipulate the market so that we just like buying out autos, easy talks, so hostage will never be a thing anymore, I would be totally in for that. So guys, if you want to join us, didn't Otherword Corner had like a Patreon or something like Cole? Maybe you could just like start a new month that you need to collect like money for a good thing. keep the game safe or something like that. You can call it like that. Keep the game safe. Yeah, so the game is taking a closer and closer end, and City Chase is like the Anansi just like sticking on the board. Now it's time for Freeloader actually to starting out.
Anansi currently is very much very painful here, but we do see that first play of Mighty Jin. That there wasn't really a big threat of another sabotage coming out because the other Tanukis are already in reserve.
Yeah.
And in this card, and this one is in reserve. He might be scared of uniques being able to sabotage. But the shuffling that Tanuki back into hand for now isn't doing a lot. But it's actually still a 0 mana after you by putting out that Martingale into reserve. And we do see a Fire Rabbit putting out even more boosts. And just hoping to win off of these boosts. But already tapping that Basira hero ability. So this is looking to be going to tie. This might be going to tiebreaker. Actually, if there are Twinkle Twinkles in hand, which is quite likely. We haven't seen any yet.
Yeah, it's
This
10 cards left.
could be an easy double advance for the fan here.
Could be, yeah.
Viscera still has slow play in that Keelan cylinder, but afterwards, it's looking quite tough. Fan will always be able to play slow enough to see exactly what this Viscera is planning. And if there's that twinkle, this game most likely won't even go to tiebreaker, since without stats you probably are not able to win an expedition.
It's true. So Fan right now thinking of what actually to play, because there are like certain possibilities of how this will going on still with 5 mana left. But here we go, it would be just like the Martin guy getting on the hero expedition to just like doing a slow pass, and the Osma will be played out, so an additional draw for a freeloader.
That is a super sweet card to see here.
And oh, the small step giant leap.
That's an early small step, but yeah, it's taking them to match point, and I would hope there's another character here for freeloader to just be able to get it in reserve and get these Haven boosts on next turn.
Yes.
And that would be very, very strong for him. And maybe even if the last card here, if this card now is another unique, it would be the best. But yeah, it's only a red. But
only a red.
Getting another basically 4/4 character in reserve, which from hand would only be 2/2, is of course much better. And funny enough, this fan is advancing only on the hero side and not a single time on the companion side by going into the tiebreaker. But freeloader is quite nicely set up.
Yeah.
With now probably also getting another draw out of the Mighty Djinn and still being even on mana with that fan. And yeah, it's actually looking quite even on resources now with 4 cards and 3 cards in hand. And freeloader has
to get that Osma
in reserve together with these Havens. And now I would kind of favor that Viscera as long as there are no Twinkles available to that fan.
I will call it out. There will be like double Twinkle in hand. Double Twinkle. There will be double Twinkle in hand. This is like a usual fan turn, because it was like with the small step giant leap, it was like actually going into there is like not any chance that I will get like to win actually the game out, so I go to the tiebreaker. But here we go. Tanuki will be the starting off. So
that Tanuki was returned was returned.
Was returned. Keep until then. Okay, that's amazing. So now it needs to think of, but I would actually prefer just like the Osma.
Yeah.
Because the chance of just like getting 2 boosted characters is like pretty high. So the Osma could like pretend of actually an additional draw and will be the target for our freeloader now. And so the red will join in. Getting 2 boosts out will be a 4 boost set instead and passing. So let's see what our fan actually still has to offer. Still
one
on
of the best cards here for freeloader would probably be his unique what's it called? Trailblazer. That is either drawing or resupplying, and at this point in the game you could just decide to resupply it rather than draw, because everything you resupply is getting additional Haven boosts, and that is what's giving you probably the most stats right now. And unfortunately for the fan, the characters they played so far do not have the highest stats, and that off you go.
There would be an off you go.
Very tough.
Still got 5 mana left, so still being able to just like use Twinkle.
Yeah.
And maybe finishing the game off with that, so we will see.
And
the Trailblazer. If you control.
But that is a tough resupply.
Tough resupply right now. The mana eruption. I mean, at the end, at some point, it's like not that bad, because if there's like only like 1 character left in hand,
there's already a second Aloe waiting in reserve to potentially be played out.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's actually quite hard for that moment. And all right, the header will be played out. So,
but that is that header now is looking quite weak into that mana reaping, and if there's a character that can boost here for freeloader from hand with 3 cost, a Chiron, for example, would likely take this, but if there's nothing left, this is just going to be it.
Repeat red, alright.
And this is
And he's
going for another tiebreaker. Oh no, actually it's not yet. Yeah,
once
Basira
that,
winning,
once
and
that, it's just like
we managed to not curse our freeloader for once, and yeah,
Oh,
that is great to see.
I mean, at the end, we don't need to actually curse him because there would be like a round that he will lose anyway at the end. So, it's just like the pre-cursing, you know. There's some other curse that freeloader needs to prevent, but no. GG actually was an awesome. I have no idea how I survived that. I actually quite like being interested in what was like the last card from our fan right now. So maybe. I want to quickly check that. I really want to quickly check that.
So
go
you have to skip to move 140 or something. 100.
Yeah, I'm actually just like going to move 42, and it was like a second aloe rare, so there were like the chance of playing double aloe. Oh, that's sad. That's sad. There were just like play double aloe rare and you could get it. So freeloader, at any point, if you send money to Matata to don't play the aloe rare, then GG. No, it's like actually a tough decision, right?
Yeah, I think
these tough decision.
These aloes would probably not even have won the game because, well, then freeloader would have had more stats as well.
No, yeah. It's like with the mana eruption, then both of those characters, it would be 4-4-8 against 2-4-4. It would be the game. If I'm correct, would be the game.
It depends on the ordering, but I think it's still
a hard decision.
Still favored for the Basira.
Yeah, it's the favorite, but with the aloes, both of them being in play, that would be like.
I think the Basira just gets enough boosts to outstep these if they're.
You got the mana eruption, right? Yeah, you got the mana eruption, but instead of choosing like the Heather, you choose like either like the Tanuki or just like the aloe vera, but there will still be another character.
If the Tanuki isn't played out, there's an additional 4 for the Basira.
Yeah, that's true. It's hard, but I would say they were 1 mana short. No, it was like 4 or 5. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It was like this 1 mana. McTenstead say, yeah, that's actually crazy. But congrats on that. I like to see Basira, and actually not, because then someone in my local that liked to play Basira will play her again. And it was actually like the most headed deck for me to play against, because it's like actually, it's like hard. It's hard against Basira. If you don't have like anything against those boosted cards, then you're like, please no, yeah. please stop it. But congrats on that. Actually, we can go to Karabi on table 20 and see him suffering. I'm just saying that because, as you can see, guys, AQZ is also taking over Ace.
Nice.
So I'm happy to announce that you can join our tournament tomorrow. I hope he's not listening to the stream.
he likely is.
He likely is. Yeah. So guys, if you want, we have tomorrow we have a right card event going on. So thanks to Ko for hosting it.
and this is the perfect setup for any hostage deck. Well, there is 1 celebration day in reserve. There's in this card there's most likely one in hand, and this if this Grand Endeavor is now discarded by the likes of A Lost in the Woods, it's most likely just replayed again from hand, because with 17 mana and no Grand Endeavors in reserve, you probably didn't mana all your Grand Endeavors, so there's likely still some of those in your hand, and those are just threatening to take the game. But we can take a look at the uniques for Korabi, and there's a at dusk anchoring Muna Merchant, which is quite nice.
Of course I am. Oh, well, you should focus on your gameplay. Because otherwise you're sticking in this game forever.
Yeah.
So what is actually the plan? Is there a chance that the... Oh,
They
I
might
have the
actually
feeling...
not have
Yeah, I have the feeling
the
it's not the case,
Grand
but
Endeavor.
now just like to draw it out. I mean, like enough points. Like I have a choice. Yeah, you don't have like any choice. Yeah.
And they immediately drew the
Yeah.
Grand Endeavor off of the top of their deck. And yeah, this is now the game for the Akasha, and this makes me happy, but probably not a lot of other people.
Yeah, surely.
And yeah, I
So
think it's the second win for Chocobar today, and I like to see that.
what you write down. I mean, at least you said Chichico, so so you can say that afterwards. Oh, that's amazing. That is amazing. So yeah, getting out of boost, but this will not be enough. So GG to Chocobar. And hopefully maybe joining already on the round 4. So you can pick up a tip. Wait, code. Did you get hostage 2 guys in a row? Yeah, was it? Oh, that would be so sad.
Oh, that would be quite brutal. But I think
the
game before.
So a game to watch. Do we have like a game you want to watch? I see that actually
maybe
this...
table 9. There's Ethan. That's the crazy Foundry Kojo list. If you want to take a look at that.
Oh yeah, we can do that. And you can just like take over for a short time because I need to close the window until the game is loaded. I lost game 1 to Hydra that I couldn't remove. 1 game 2 hostage game 3 doll. Yeah, so I mean, still being able to win now every round because you got like the worst thing after a hostage. I would say it's just like a glow up. Fought for my life in that game. Fraud. Double easy talk held me down. Yeah, it's actually...
Yeah,
maybe
Easy Talk is just cheating.
Yeah, Easy Talk on the watch list. I'm telling you guys. Put it on the watch list. Remove it immediately.
I would love to take a look at Matu against us. I think it's Sawaki. It's a Sawa is brewing, and it's a Swiss player. But yeah, I'd expect that to be Sawaki. Yes. And that's a Akasha against Varo matchup. And but we can stick to the table 8. I think
I would prefer to that table. So it would be a Sigisma against Kojo, and I
just leave that open on the second screen and watch it over there.
Okay. See you guys.
See you. So yeah, this day is starting off okay for each player. Actually, this is starting off better for the Sigisma. They are just blocking this day and stalling turns. Maybe stalling turns out to be good for Kojo as well, since they do get more time to find key pieces in their turns. But of course, the attorney actively drawing cards and searching for pieces here for the Sigisma is also quite nice. They could have also invested an additional rallying call to trade here, but that would be going down on resources, and that's not what you like to see. So just stalling and getting resources, it's quite nice for the Sigisma here. And now go starting this turn off, just slow playing with rallying call. This card just feels so good to play. It's just a 1 mana after you, and you can play it twice a turn. So not even a character that has to go to reserve first again. And yeah, now it's the Basira's turn. They have to decide what to do. And the Kojo's turn, and they do just play out Mighty Jin to go 2 for 1 this day and still manage to draw. But yeah, that Sigisma just plays out a draw card themselves. So yeah, Sigisma still ahead in resources and now also ahead on board. And yeah, a good opener here for the Sigisma, getting Attorney into Baba Yaga. Definitely what you like to see. And yeah, I'm not too sure how well this Kojo list is doing into specific matchups. I think it really depends on if they draw their Foundry Bastion, and depending on the uniques they draw afterwards. There are like 3 different uniques they run, which each have the text that from reserve, you might target character or permanent with hand cost 4 or less or 5 or less are returned to hand. So these uniques can return themselves, and they have a secondary effect of either putting the top card of your deck in the mana zone, or putting or discarding a character that costs 3 or less, and the other one is giving out 3 boosts. And I expect the best unique in this deck, in this matchup, to be the unique that is giving out 3 boosts, so you can just effectively block out any characters that are played by Sigismars. And I'm surprised that Paandyandy is taking so long on closing his windows. And yeah, I just have to commentate this on my own. And yeah, this Sigismar is doing pretty good. They do get a lot of values out of their burr crits, and this is looking super disgusting. Just being able to go 1-for-1 and get additional value out of these attorneys and legates just to sabotage and draw. And yeah, this is looking super annoying here to deal with. And yeah, if there are no foundries to be found soon, and no uniques to be found soon for this coach, this might look a bit tough. But for now, I think they are still in a position where this is manageable, but it's definitely not a good position to be in. And now going into Sigismar's starting turn. I feel like I'm hearing Paandyandy in the back, and yeah, I'm not alone anymore, so it doesn't feel too weird casting this on my own anymore. And yeah, we yeah. Okay, are you back?
I'm back, yeah. Actually, every time when I walk to my fridge, because I'm passing my fridge, I'm always taking some stuff out. And now it was happening again that I opened it, and then I was thinking, what should I take out? I take out like a cake that's like well known in my city. It's like the Eierschecke. It's like an egg shake. It's like, yeah, you could say like similar to like a cheesecake at some point. It's just like made of egg and pudding. It's like actually tasty. Dresden Eierschecke. You should try it out, guys, if you have the chance. But only in Dresden, because outside of Dresden it's like not tasting that well. But talking about tasting well, I see my Siggy boy.
Yeah, Sigismar
doing a good job.
Currently doing quite well. They used their burr crits, their attorneys and legates quite effectively to just block out and get that additional value with the sabotage and draws. And yeah, looking to sabotage here again.
Ooh,
but no, do have that tiny jail, and that is unfortunately discarding that Trailblazer. And if there's no unique here or Rototosk, yeah, even Rototosk at this point isn't doing a lot. So there would have to be a Rototosk here from hand for the Scourger, and these Rototosks, or at least that specific Rototosk that is giving out boosts, is still able to go 1-for-1 here this day. But of course it's a solid play for them. And yeah, it's that exact Rototosk that I was thinking of. It's getting 3 boosts itself and can return a card, and is returning now that token, since yeah.
Wow.
And the Sigismar is just wow. Yeah, that's what this list is built around. These super strong uniques that work super well together with these bastions.
Yeah.
And that Rototosk is looking to maybe return itself now to hand to just boost up Buddha and be used as 4 mana play now. But yeah, of course, using 4 mana to send this Rototosk back to hand doesn't feel the best, but sometimes it's what you kind of have to want to do still, just to maintain the value. But this could also just stick on the board, return recruits, and you might be happy with that. Just depends on the play style for the player, and I'm not too familiar with the list to exactly know what lines are the best. But of course, boosting your Buddha is definitely always a good thing, and it's actually returning itself.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's amazing.
That's a very cool list to see.
Yeah.
And they were
a
doing
good choice.
well
A good choice
in
of
the
yours.
events. And I think Moondust also already went undefeated with this list, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. FUG. Do you know the team tag or like the team behind it?
No, it's I'm not sure what this represents, but yeah.
Okay. So we will see the Orders Cadets as for our Sigismar coming out on the companion side. I would say, yeah, okay. Besides that, there will be another Purpose Trailblazer being played out, so actually being able to progress at least on the Hero Expedition for now, but still like the Sigismar that have 5 mana left for that game. So let's see how this will go on. But yeah, still like the little red being in hand. And actually, I've realized he could play out the red, boosting the characters, put it back to his own hand, and just like doing it again, right? Like for the upcoming turn. If I'm correct, the Radatos.
Exactly. The Radatos can be infinitely bounced back to hand and just give out 3 boosts. So this one is looking quite nice in Sigismar matchups, because putting out 3 stats for 1 cost into Sigismar turns out to be quite efficient. But of course, this requires some amount of setup, and you're not always able to find it. But Sigismar contesting that companion expedition, threatening to just remove on either expedition to just take single advance here, but there's a slow play here for this Kojo.
Here we go, the other trust will be played out. Free boost, I would guess,
yeah. Onto
the Purpose Paandyandy, and which card will get removed back to hand? Oh, what a surprise! Ruby the Red Husk. What a surprise that's going on there.
Shouldn't be a double advance for Sigismar. The best they should be able to get is a single advance here, and
Yes, it's true. I was figuring out that my microphone at some point just like decreasing the volume every time when I start my PC. I don't know why that's happening. Okay. Whatever, but it's like not cool. So going back to the game. Now maybe you can hear me better, guys. Maybe it's getting a little bit better because it's louder. So let's see. Oh, we will see Orders liaisons. So characters you control gain 1 boost, and you may put the card. Okay, it's the same effect, but only played out from reserve, putting a card to reserve. So being able to progress at least on the companion side, but yeah, still like this red being like on the hand left for our coach, and now needs to remove a card, but okay. Yeah,
these Orders liaisons that are reduced in stats are quite nice. Reducing cost. I think it's usually 4/4 cost, but in this one it's quite decent.
It's quite okay, yeah. Always nice to have for a Sigismar only to play out 3 costs, 1 to 3 costs, and not like any picks up, beside the fact that Grand and A.W.O.L is a thing on those lists. So yeah, Coach right now needs to decide what to mana back. So let's see what it will be. Okay, you're starting to type your own book, or?
Yeah, of course. Aren't you doing that?
Yeah.
As well. And then I was chatting on the game of Matu against Sawaki, and the Akasha unfortunately was able to take the game there, and I was only able to see the end of that. But yeah, now focusing back again.
No, all good. I was just like make a all good. I mean, you can cheer out to your fanboys and fangirls, you know, and to your fan group of hostage players. Totally fine. Yeah. I would actually, if I would be able to not allowing for you, that would be okay. So no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, because it's not good that you're cheering it it up.
It's amazing to see.
No.
I love that.
No. No, but talking about amazing stuff, the check was actually just like Ixos, the Bravo's Trailblazer, but now the Auto Spy will be able to just like discarding the Auto Slurries, and now I'm just like asking myself if this Sigismar was like, oh, this is like the card that I could actually use pretty well for my turn, but it seems like there's another foundry mechanic. It would be a double Runner Tusk at this moment. Like
True, that is actually possible, and that is looking to put out 6 stats in total. And I wasn't thinking about double foundry before. I haven't seen it in a game yet, but of course this definitely makes a lot of sense if you're just able to play these cards twice. And I would expect that Runner Tusk to be bounced back to hand both times, and in the next turn where you don't have to, where you're on game point, you can actually start using that send back to hand to put characters of your opponents back to hand to just get additional stats on the board. And for now, this I'm not sure how you deal with 6 boosts flying out here. I think it feels quite impossible, but maybe there's still enough stats to be put out on that.
Yeah, I mean at the end, David now got like so it would be like 6 sets, but it could be the chance of actually not.
There's actually the chance that if the Runner Tusk isn't if the Runner Tusk on the second play is putting something else back to hand, that this is a double advance here for Kojo. I'm not sure if they want to do that, but it's definitely a chance, a possibility for them. So they go to game point, but it might also not be the case.
And it could be just like, I mean, at the end could still like being blocked and progressing forward through the hero expedition, but let's see if this will be the case. So the foundry mechanic again, could be possible. And you're right, still like another card going back to hand and then play it on next turn, but
they can currently also just return a token back to hand, so they just get the single advance and they go 2 for 1. They can also just I'm not sure what's the best thing to bounce here to hand.
I also don't know what will it be. Okay, just like removing the token. Yes. Being able to double progress, that's like amazing, but still for our Sigismar there will be a check frost and all this kind of, and Baba Yaga still being in reserve, like depends on the decision that David right now will do. For the reserve, I would say like maybe that the Baba Yaga will got erased, so and for it will be the Pros Trailblazer. I mean, with 10 mana, there is like still enough stuff that like the coach right now can do at the end of the day, and still being able to actually proc the Runner Tusk 3 times for that turn now. And it's just like one expedition that actually needs to progressing at this point. So if there's like no teamwork training, then it's actually quite not looking good for David Gap right now. So let's see how this game will end. But right now the coach is like highly preferred and interesting deck list with the foundry mechanic out there. It's like awesome. Nice to see. So
it's definitely a very cool coach list to look at always. That's why I'm always looking for Ethan or also Moondust that was playing this once. I'm also always looking for, since Moondust is also generally a rather creative player from what I know.
So let's see how this will end. So the other Tusk will be played out, getting like a lot of boosts maybe on the Buddha, as it seems also like that Koji is being the starting player. Not that awesome for our Sigismar right now, so the Runner Tusk could just like getting removed back to hand easily. And at least the Check Frost could help out to actually just like exhaust the Auto Spy for that moment. So let's see. And actually also quite interesting choice, because now the teamwork training could not working directly, but
teamwork training should still
working, but is there another free cost that you just like want to play out and say, okay, then you need to put out everything. I'm not
I
sure.
imagine there to be more uniques in hand now, but it
Yes.
might also not be the case. But yeah, there's the first tab of the foundry.
Okay,
And
there's
yeah,
like
that
another
is
unique. Okay.
that is the insane Haven trainee. That is
And you may return
discarding
a card.
characters.
Yeah, returning a card again.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a decent card.
Yeah, I think it's like an okay card. Okay,
Yeah,
unique.
it's
Okay.
okay.
Oh, okay, unique, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. I wouldn't play that, man. It's like, okay, but if you want to play that, it's okay. It's completely up to you.
Yeah,
Man,
especially
okay,
yeah.
but-
If these cards are paired with
Yeah.
these havens, they are looking very absurd, and they are
Yeah.
doing very strong things. And yeah, that's why I love this list.
Hmm.
That is just amazing. It's not so fun to play against if you're playing characters and they are just gone forever. But it's funny to play, of course.
Yes. Surely. So yeah, Ribbit bait out again, being able to progress, just like discarding the oldest gatekeeper, and that's it. GG to I-10.
Yeah.
There's like nothing left. It could be like, yeah, it's like nothing. Maybe like another unique, but if you
another-
control 4 more characters, each character control other than gains 1 boost. And there's just like the amazing coming out to the chat, and Hachir just like thinking, so congrats on the Kocho taking out the win with those special front view mechanic lists. Amazing. So let's go to the main page. Let's see if there are like some other rounds still being up, and yeah, this would be the case. So if I would take like a look through some states,
Oh, there's table 4 Pupiat against Yo. That is also table 5 might be a bit more interesting with Damien against Tempita Lanesh. Two very strong Afanis players, and actually
finished.
that game is already over, but
they're
Tempita
finished.
won
So
that.
yeah, okay, let's go to table 4. It would be a trace against Afanas. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see how this will went. So Tracehead now being the player to catch his action. So we will see a Frozen Delivery, we will see a Gibbous being in the reserve. So let's see how this will went. And for Joe, it would be the category Mage Chance and the Helping Hand.
Unfortunately for... Oh, wait. We do see 2 Ouroboros Bastions in the discard for this trace. And that is because Yo decided to play Banishing Gate onto one of these, and yeah, therefore the trace is quite limited on the resupplies they are getting, and they have to hope for good top decks. And yeah, now they resupplied into a Gibble that currently isn't playable. And if there's a character now for the trace, they are looking to just double progress maybe here, if it's possible for them. Otherwise, there is not now the possibility for the sabotage again onto that magical training. And
all right, we will see the Lyra Chronicle getting played out. So there's selected chance of the sabotage.
Yeah.
Or not?
And
No.
The sabotage, they can still sabotage anything that is in reserve through that Gibble.
Yeah.
But yeah, and looking at that discard for Yo, there's a very nice Spindle Harvester that is a 1/1/1 and has the text again anchored, and at dust you may return a spell from your hand from your reserve to your hand. And I really like this Harvester. I'm comparing them to the uniques of Kilon Guy because I'm able to play those. And they are just they are the same cost, but they do have 0 stats and 1 stat, so they are in that regard a lot weaker. And yeah, I do prefer these Harvesters with some stats and 2 costs. So yeah, that Harvester is looking very nice.
It's true, and also being nice in general, because right now the Gibber being able to just like, I actually realized that you could also just like if like the Magical Drink would be played out first, like the Kelonic Heater for the upcoming turn, and to just like exhaust resupply. But as we can see right now, it will be the pass, and there's like any spell right now that or just like the off you go. So if there
Yeah.
would be like a small sub-giant leap right now there, then this would be looking really, really good for
Yeah.
sure right now. So let's see if this would be the case.
Even without the...
Or a beauty sleep, alright.
Okay. I'm not sure if the beauty sleep is... yeah, maybe you want to prevent the
Yeah.
trace from going to game point. But yeah, this is still quite nice. I'd imagine to keep around the Pamola and that Mage Dancer to just exhaust and play out stats first, so you're not suffering from that armor jammer sabotage.
Yeah.
And yeah, actually keeping that beauty sleep for now. So Yo has the so Poppyhead has the option to maybe sabotage something in the reserve here again.
Yes.
And
Surely.
Frido was asking in the chat, I'm not sure if it was before or after I explained why there's no bastion, but basically
They're
we
like
do
true
see a
already
benefit.
in Discord.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of them was probably resupplied and then chosen to be discarded, and the other one was likely you discarded by Banishing Gate. So that's why there's currently no bastion in play for the Traced.
So I find us will be the starting player, and okay, the mages are going out, so high chance that there's like no small step right now in there. The ability of Trace we're getting activated, so let's see what's going back to Retail.
Since the Afamas mannered this turn, I would expect there either be a Conjuring Seal or Magical Training in the hand to draw additional things and hopefully draw into important pieces.
Ooh,
so you can play out those.
Alright, so I would say the Armor Jammer right now we're getting activated.
Yeah.
And the Beauty Sleep will get removed. We still got the Lyra Chronica to actually just like put something out for the Kilonic Heater. Or if there like is an additional spell that will be played out right now, but actually, yeah. Probably like that the Chronica will going to the company side, companion side, company side. So the Off You Go will be played out. There is an additional boost going on for the Mage Dancer. And now I would say
maybe there's another Off You Go.
Yeah, but it could be like play again. The Off You Go, so it could be like played twice and that's it. Hard decision right now for our Traced here. So okay, there would be just like the hook.
That sadly isn't doing anything for them at this point.
Yeah.
It's
maybe
basically
there's a
just
boom.
slow playing currently, but
maybe there's a boom. Could be.
Yeah, maybe, but not.
But there would just like be the red.
Now
and there
the
would be
also isn't doing anymore.
I mean, at the end, the returning spell don't do like anything right now because there's like the Ofiku could not like choose any target. And here we go, the hooked again. So the Frank is really going to the companion side, and right now I'm just like interested in of what was the plan behind that. So maybe it's just like building out the Off You Go, and afterwards. Okay, just like passing. And is there like a character left? Yeah, it's actually the front room again. Okay.
Yeah, and that is not doing enough. So.
Yeah, it's so awkward for both players. Yeah, it's actually true. Yeah. But at the end, it was not awkward enough for Joe to taking out the game. So congrats on him. So let's see if there's still like some games going on. There's actually one table, and we can take another look to Overloss against Spike Fly.
Sure.
He was actually telling me that I'm not allowed to cast him anymore because I was mean to him. But now I can cast him twice in one single stream. That's awesome.
Yeah. That is great. Yeah.
Oh, maybe there would be the time now.
Yeah.
That we see. I mean, Overloss, you could just like write out now and then taking the game. It's completely fine. You're on go rank.
That is true.
Take your time. Take your time. For the stats of the best go rank player, they're getting the best go rank player. You need to sacrifice something, you know.
Yeah. Kojo now on a Buddha turn, but that Buddha going into a Audis recruit that is 2/2 as well. So quite even stats here. And reserve wise, Yeah, that Baba Yaga is looking stronger than the Serengar when there's no
Yeah.
Haven. And Mulan, yeah, it's decent, but it's not the best body for a 3 cost.
Yeah, that's true. It's true at this case.
But
So
currently it's quite fine on that
yeah.
Cubo Expedition, I'd say.
So let's see how this will went. Turn 1 mana to hand. So
and we do already see 2 uniques in discard for the Gulrang. There are 2 unique Overseers that are looking quite nice.
yes.
And there's also a super nice Chiron in the discard for the Kojo that is giving 2 boosts to a character whenever anything joins.
Okay, that's the word I'm looking for. So,
How was Freeloader's game this round?
Did you run Freeloader? Did you run?
Oh no, he sadly lost to Valenzen.
Oh, the precurse. Yeah. I died to a Siggy. Oh. Too much card draw. Oh. That's not good. So, okay. So the coach right now played out the Serengar. So our going still being able to actually progressing on the hero side. So, but still got like 7 mana left. So let's see what Overlords right now will be choosing.
Yeah, this is a good spot for the Gulrang. They are on equal cards, but the Gulrang has the last play, so that's the advantage. But yeah, that Serengar is putting out a decent amount of stats for 2 cost, so that might be a bit tough to challenge. But of course, Gulrang at this stage of the game probably still one of the better heroes to put out a lot of stats, since all of any recruit you're putting out is getting an additional boost, so that alone might be enough to just put out enough stats here. But let's see what they do actually have in hand here.
Ooh, the Earth's Attorney. All right. So still got 5 mana left, and
so just trying to solidify that companion side. I probably would have liked to see it a bit more. Would have liked to see it on the hero side, but yeah, actually going for that timeout and winning just because of cost being ahead in time, and it's now.
I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
Happen. So
now going to round 5 already of the
round 5
weekly altered.
So still round 6 and 7 left. Oh man. So, but is there like any table that you want to watch?
Oh, Frida is now up against that Belasenka list from Damien that we've seen earlier today. Other than that, I think I have nothing left I want to see. You
maybe let's go back to 6-7 too long. Yeah. If there's like the chance that we can choose back to go 6, I would like to do that. But yeah, so Genetic against Clem. Other aces on table 2.
Oh yeah,
table
sure.
2. I would prefer
you're just a Genetic fan at this point.
I like to watch some awesome game. Yeah, I'm actually I like it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's okay. So is actually Clem playing on stream right now? No, because the game is still loading. So shout out to all the red aces, always streaming at least one player of them, also streaming like the POV of them. That's like cool. And there's all the red LR. What is LR like for standing?
Okay.
Oh yeah, that should be Spanish or something like that. But actually also being able just like also stream. Actually, it was amazing because there's like a channel named OutdoorTCG.tv. I don't know if it's like the official OutdoorTCG channel, but they followed me. That was amazing. Talking about follow weekend, now follow the game because it's going into it and it will be a trace against Fan and Crowbar.
That is super exciting. We already see the first unique here out for the trace. and that is a martingale that is looking to do a lot of resupplying, and we do therefore see 3 cards already in reserve here. So definitely overflowing the reserve for now, but this looks to be a more tempo-oriented trace with these havens and likely Icebound peaks as well. Not too sure on that one, but I'm seeing a lot of 1 costs and a lot of resupplies would indicate that you're also playing Icebound peak, which is oftentimes a nice card in a trace list, and surprisingly using that Axiom Salvager over the Scout here to discard 2 now from reserve over 1. That's interesting.
So being able to progress both of them on here and either on companion side, so there will be a lot of stuff that needs to go to the discard now. Already like that early, discarding 2 cards from the reserve. And it will be the Scout and the Martingale. So setting left the Emir Earhart and the Haven Prowess Bastion. I mean, could be worse for you in the reserve. I mean, it's like good.
That's a solid reserve,
Yes. And oh, my game. Yeah, it's being back. So, let's see. So right now, Genix Zig got the A.W.O.L, Trickster, Andy, and Nancy being on the reserve. So the magical training start. Okay. So being able to play out the Anansi and then afterward the A.W.O.L Trickster.
Yeah, cool. And magical training is definitely something you want to see as fan. Just bouncing that card as often as possible is most oftentimes the gameplay for fan. And getting these magical trainings early on is very nice.
Yeah.
Also, this turn might be a bit tough now, seeing that Killer and Elemental in reserve that is looking to block pretty much anything that is going into that companion expedition. So we're likely seeing a 1-for-1 this day again, since I wouldn't quite expect seeing the commitment of Amelia here this turn, because you'd have to play a Foundry mechanic alongside it to get value out of it, and you just prefer being a bit more mana efficient and playing the Killer and Elemental. So it's still a bit tough for Genetic, because anything they play will be likely answered by that Killer Elemental, being a 2/4. But if that Trickster is played first and the Anansi follows, this might be, if the Trickster high rolls, this might be a single advance for the Traced here. For the fan here, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
And actually playing out that Amelia instead of the Killer Elemental, that would have also probably done the same.
So fan right now could just like pass out and still keeping like the Trickster and the magical training in reserve. And the Trickster always nice to have to just like keep that, because it's just like a low cost card that can go either like with 1 set or 2 sets line just like out to game. It's like a nice way to just like pass out to see what will be like the upcoming turn next from the opponent. So yeah, let's see. So the Trace, the Alarera getting reserved from our fan. That's amazing.
An interesting card to see in a fan list. And yeah, now the Traced, interestingly enough, not playing that Killer Elemental into the lane where the Aloe would be the best, since I would expect that Aloe to, if it's played, be played out on that companion, on that hero side, and together with the Haven boost, that Killer Elemental would have blocked that Aloe and could have resulted in a 2/4, and also that Traced did not tap yet their Haven, so there might be another unique already in hand that is looking to put cards into their reserve, since they also don't have their hero ability activated yet.
Yes, that's true. But could it be we hate small we hate small step? Why white beans? How come you came up with that? Did you lost to it? If yes, I'm sorry. If yes, I'm sorry.
I think the small step hate is quite understandable, and a lot of people hate that card.
Yeah, it's totally fine, guys. To hate small step, totally fine, totally fine.
There
So
actually
we will
wasn't
see another
anything.
elemental here, and the
Yeah,
Axiom's erasure.
yeah, there actually wasn't another unique, just a killing elemental to put an additional card in reserve. But yeah, that A.W.O.L still playing here is likely taking a
very
1-for-1.
Yes.
And yeah.
So playing out the A.W.O.L, but okay. There will be the Kodama. It does each character controlled by target player against leading. Oh yeah, I like that card from.
Yeah,
It's an amazing card.
that's a decent one, yeah.
Yeah. So the Axiom's erasure will be played out, being able to just like putting out the Ouroboros Lira Bastion. And I would say even if it's only hit like the killing elemental actually for getting like fleeting, I would say it's still just like starting off the turn to hurt like at some point the Trace player Clem. Because there is just like the Ouroboros Lira Bastion left in reserve, and maybe like the card that we're getting put to reserve. But still like not character at all right now. Besides
Yeah,
the fact
they
being
do still
enhanced.
have that trace ability now online. So they do get an additional card here.
Yeah, and Ruby Emilia Earhart for the next turn, okay.
The Trace here might have been a bit scared of a Hatter play onto that companion side, since that would have won on Forest and given the Fan Elite. But yeah, therefore they do get that additional resupply into their Ouroboros and also activate their hero ability. So that's probably still a decent play for them just to activate their hero ability.
It's true, and we will see the Ouroboros Incaster we're getting resupplied from our Fan. So nice reserve in general for Fan right now. Having the Alorera, having the Ouroboros Incaster to either play it out or just like reducing the cost. Still got the magical training and being able to play out in an Nancy. On the companion side, so still being able after that just like to reduce the cost of the next upcoming card and play out the Alorera.
Yeah.
Also just like with Anchorage, so
I would also expect that, but that is of course a very telegraphed play, and the Trace might have something against that, and yeah, that Tinkerbell is looking to sabotage and resupply here at this point.
Yes.
And yeah, that is a very nice Tinkerbell, just putting out a lot of cards into reserve and getting that sabotage for Trace, but actually not using that Tinkerbell yet, and just playing out the Amelia. And now we do likely see already that first play for the Fan here.
Should
that
be,
might be the Aloe, or might not be.
This would be the question, right? It would be at the end. But it could be the Alorera right now. Yeah, just like playing it out on the hero side, being able to at least now getting quite decent stats to just like plucking it out, or maybe just like to progressing. But there will be the Avalanche. So just like removing out the Kodama and the Alorera on the Hero Expeditioner. Still got 2 mana left. At the end, the Kodama staying in the reserve, getting passed by from the Fan, and now Trace still got 2 mana, also passing. So both of them again just like progressing 1 expedition each. So nice card to have right now for our Trace. was a good spot right now. So now we need to decide the Fan and will be the magical training, of course, because you want to keep an Anansi surely in the reserve, and this Kodama could at least like stay 2 turns on board, so being able to just like progressing out, and there will be another Anansi in the reserve. All right.
I wouldn't expect this Kodama at this point to be too valuable, since I would expect that Trace to play most of their cards from reserve anyway, so the fleeting isn't as valuable. But yeah, Genetic seemingly valuing that Kodama still a bit higher than that magical training, and that might be an indicator that they do have a magical training in hand already.
Yeah, it could be, and the Anansi will just like getting removed. We will see the Lyra Chronicle actually getting in the reserve again, so another resupply if the Trace wants to. And also again the Avalanche being here on the reserve, but not surely if this would be played out on this turn. So our fan right now needs to choose something, and it would be just like the pass by from the a cappella training on the Tinkerbell.
Yeah, also putting an
Interesting.
additional card into reserve so the Anansi
Yeah.
can outstat that Tinkerbell. And yeah, we do see a lot of
Going a lot
resupply
on.
effect,
Yeah.
a lot of resupply effects here for the trace. So they do have they can cycle now through the deck, and they are hitting a lot of other support abilities. And yeah,
And there will
getting
be
that
the
armor
Amaret
jump
Gemma.
is-
Yeah.
that
So
is
maybe
super
play
nice.
it out that, and then just like the Anansi, we're just
Yeah,
like getting removed.
I would expect that
Yep.
as well. And this is
It's actually
a
the
very
Fen.
nice turn for the trace, but Fen likely still has things that they can do here. But yeah, actually, the Inari just as a 2-mana 3/3 is also looking
Yeah.
to be a quite a good threat here on the side of the traced.
Yes, it's true. So, see how this will continue. So defend right now. So with this could see like the a cappella training. So like another chance of just like passing by, and maybe just like playing out something from hand right now. But then the Inari will maybe just like the ability will get used again, for sabotage something. So let's see how this will end right now for our genetic. In that case, so
Yeah,
quite hard decisions to make here.
that is
I would
true.
say.
We
And
do see an Incaster.
the Incaster will be played out. All right. So now
Yeah,
the turn
Incaster
for Chris.
being quite nice, just a solid card, looking to bounce cards from your reserve. Likely looking to bounce the a cappella training as additional slow play. Of course, magical training is
And
the much
actually
better
it's
slow
getting
play.
removed. And that's actually a quite nice choice, and also interesting choice. But as you said, so just like getting back to hand to just like have a low cost pass by, and for the upcoming turn to remove that. Also good decisions from Clan. And now we will see the hooked will be played out. So the Ouroboros Incaster just like getting to the Hero Expeditioner. So 4 mana left for our fan, and yeah, I'm not sure what it would be, and it would be the aloe vera actually. So being able to block it, all right, that's good.
Super good card, yeah.
That's good for genetic, right here. So progressing, the Ouroboros Incaster going to reserve. The Kodama will go back to hand for now, and for our trace, what it could be, yeah, it would be the Lyra Bastion right now. It's just like getting removed out from the reserve. Still got 11 cards left in deck, so let's see maybe if there will be another cycling turn for our trace. So
it's quite impressive that they managed to get through that much of the deck even without the Lyra Bastion.
Totally.
But I'm surprised to see the hooked stick around, since hooked feels the best when you're playing from ahead or from even and you just want to stall out or want to trade turns. But it doesn't feel the greatest to actually win out on turns.
Yeah.
But of course, this late into the game, committing 3 mana for a card that is essentially doing nothing the day it's played is also quite tough, and at a point where your opponent is a double advance from game point from winning the game, you likely can't afford to actually play that card. So yeah,
so Tanuki played out.
That makes sense, but yeah, Tanuki is looking super strong here as well, just taking the resources of Trace, and we do already see that hooked. That is likely just gonna be a slow play. I can't imagine that being
Magical Training will be played out. All right, and yeah, so thanks for joining in, Cole, and take a good nap. So I assume that you just like dropped. All right, but thanks for playing and joining in on the stream. So let's see how is it going on. So
that salvage is super nice. It has a from reserve ability to sacrifice a character or permanent to resupply, and they just used that to sacrifice their own armored jammer, get an additional sabotage and an additional resupply off of that, and that is super nice. But unfortunately, resupplying another hooked, that is again not looking to do the most in this matchup here.
Yes. And he just choked. He's still stuck at work for 1 more hour.
No.
And I got my last work lost, so won't make the listing. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's totally fine. So, but actually also quite interesting question if our fans still would be looking totally fine. Because for 5 mana left, there are like still so many possibilities, and they're actually being the Kodama played out at a cost of 2. So I would assume there would be like another character still left. And oh, alright, there would be the Boom.
Yeah.
It's actually good for our trace right now.
I'm not too sure how good it actually is, but yeah, this could be
And there
a.
would be an off you go. Alright. Okay, never mind.
This could be a stalling turn for the trace if they use the buff for a boost from the Haven onto that Walrus to block out
Yeah.
that alloy, and afterwards sacrifice their Haven with the Boom and
Yes.
remove the Tanuki. That is looking to stall the game, but it's not accomplishing a lot since there's also a Kodama sticking around for the next turn, and you just removed your own resources and you're making the game a bit harder to play. But
Maybe
you're
just
keeping
use
it
hook.
alive for a bit longer at least.
Yeah, that's true. So, but it would be the choose of like the Boom into the Havener. I mean, there could be also just like the chance of using the hook, but then defense still would be able to just like progress on 1 expedition at least. So, yeah. Or Clem
Maybe
just
they
like
are also
thinking.
just booming the Kodama here to
Could be
to
also
not
the
have to
case.
fight into that. But yeah,
Yeah,
the boom is definitely used, and it's most likely played on the Haven here. And now do you target the Tanuki or that Kodama? And
Okay,
the
choosing
Tanuki
the
it is.
Tanuki, so it's just like a stall right now.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hoping to draw better targets for the next turn and hoping they can fight this a bit better. But I kind of doubt it. But of course, it could still happen for them. They do have a slow play and resupply in that frozen delivery. But of course, yeah, it's still not the best position to be in.
And the Arrow Jammer would be just starting off, so the LRR would getting choosed, so they got the hook, they got the frozen delivery, the ability. So now for our fan, quite high cost to either just like use also the magical training, but there we go, we will see the Flamel, just like a strong card, getting back the magical training in hand. So being able to just play it out on the next upcoming turn, and we will see the Gibble actually being played out. So there would be like another sabotage potential for our trace right now. So magical training will be played out, being in reserve, and I guess yeah, that the Gibble right now would just like getting choose to sabotage, and it will be the magical training. It's actually being chosen. So there will be the hooked again, and I would assume, yeah, that the Flammel. We're going to the hero expeditions, so maybe there's still like the potential of that our trace could just like survive an additional turn. So we will see the Martingale being played out, 3 mana left, so there's still like a card being handed. There are like a lot of possible options just right now to play out. I would say the best thing would be a Heifer, actually.
Yeah.
It's getting played out. Or maybe it could be also just like, yeah, it could be also just like a Tanuki if wants to. If there would be like a second card being in reserve, but no, it would be the Inari that being played out. But I would say like either a half or
taking it.
Yeah, half or a Tanuki, any card, any 2-cost card basically, or 3-cost card for
that is spike. Oh yeah, and that is also winning, spiking the Cloud Expedition. Yeah, that is
Amazing
also taking it for the fan here. So GG to Genetic taking this one, and yeah.
So congrats for Genetic. Of course, I'm happy that the fan is winning.
Yeah.
Just like give offering to his own card. So congrats, GG. So let's see if there's still like some games up, and
we do still have Freeloader against
I mean
Damien running, but it's currently
I mean, we can join in.
Not looking the greatest, but maybe okay enough.
Okay, then
For
let's go.
freeloader here.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we can curse him now. But
no,
yeah,
we're blessing. We're joining in, and he afterwards wins this. We hope, of course.
You would say that?
Yeah,
it seems pretty hard actually.
that is true. But at this point, it's likely still gonna just be a trade here, I would imagine. And yeah, that Blade Dancer is played. You will, yeah, the Pursuer boost should probably also go onto that hero side, exhausting that magical training, and yeah, any resources now spent from the Afana side has to be discarded. But of course, if you're able to play a spell twice this turn, like a Beauty Sleep maybe, this is taking the game. And there's a Banishing Gate. If that would have been paired alongside a character like Studious Disciple, this was the game as well. But I think like this, 1 mana left, there now has to be a Beauty Sleep, and we don't see that. So this is going to tiebreaker, and this should be favored for the Afanas.
Yeah, surely. I mean, the last option would be maybe like another AQZ that will be going on. There are like 2 AQZs in, yeah, just like 2 AQZs in this cut.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. The matchup of the exhaust heroes.
Yes. So, let's see how this will go on. But as you said, not looking good for freeloader. I mean, maybe Damien at some point just like click on pass, maybe could happen. I mean,
yeah, internet outage can also happen,
yeah, just like connection outage.
So it doesn't seem like there's a unique in hand for freeloader, so no no boosting stuff is going on, and that mage lands are already looking super strong. If it's not answered by a mana eruption or even the likes of an intimidate, this is not looking good. Slow plays with Blade Dancer are quite nice, but slow playing when you're 3 mana down and against an Afanas usually not working out too well. We do see a Moth to a Flame, so an additional character you'd have to face against. And yeah, if there's no mana eruption, I don't see this going freeload as well, unfortunately. And even with, I think it's still very hard.
Yeah.
But Osma, of course, being decent enough to just put out stats. But yeah, we do see that helping hand. That is getting a lot of boosts here as well. Putting each character to 5/5/5. So even if there now is an mana eruption, this is winning for the... Yeah, there's another Osma, but it's not enough, and this is going Afana's way.
Yes. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Off you go for last cut, go for the but this is not looking good for freeloader right now. I'm so sorry, freeloader. I'm so sorry, but actually the Blade Dancer will be played out at the end, getting an additional boost, but this will be not quite enough. So let's see if there would be an off you go. But GG, just like passing it out. So Damien getting another win. So let's go to the main side. So maybe right now, maybe round 6 started. No, round 5 still going on. So there's still like 3 people undefeated. It's Genetic, Rollites, two members of Disordereds, and Tempered Dance. Tempered. Yeah, Tempt. Still being the last player. Actually, I quite realized there are so many French players. I actually at some point need to start to learn actually French. I just realized it back again. But with Sparkles have an AQZ effect, that's sad to see. So there are still like some games going on, and if you want, we can join Matmatu on table 26 for you. It's okay.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
can.
sure.
We can. So we can just like maybe talk about it a bit. Besides seeing some amazing double easy talk gameplay.
Oh yeah.
Oh
That is
man, try
that is
through
the
it. That's
gameplay
awesome.
I'm here for.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah. He is running a rare Sandman, which is interesting. I'm not running that. I think that if you're just able to resleep your AC Tox, it's getting very, very strong. Actually sleeping that Mighty Legion to not let them draw, that's also okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, sleeping your AC Tox would be stalling more, and Mato, of course, being ahead in time by now, so the clock is ticking for him currently. And in that regard, it's looking good. But also on the board, he's quite close to just taking the win, but not quite yet. So this might still be a bit tough, but yeah, still fine.
I've learned now from Julian that tempest, the French means snowstorm. All right, so I would just like start to say snowstorm now. Yeah, Frodo, you're right. Those like, but it's I guess like with the X-Sauce and plus discard, they are rough. But I can tell you that they are like actually really expensive. That's like quite hard. It's like quite hard.
Yeah, the Varu currently looking to play out a lot of characters here, and using and just hoping to win on that companion expedition to go 1-for-1. Currently not having any what's it called? Grand Endeavors out, so there's no way to win for them yet. And yeah, that's but you are having a lot of cylinders in play, but sadly not enough. And that Ozma actually that Martin Pischer is running here, resupplying and drawing at the same almost at the same time, drawing at dusk actually is also looking super nice, and also has that double boost requirement. And I'm surprised to see Mato still going here and still playing out. I would expect that there's for 6 mana no way for a Basura to catch up to 15 stats, but of course you can still just slow play with Rallying Call, and yeah, just you have probably enough resources for next turn anyway. This Basura is committing everything here, but they do now get that these 2 boosts onto their Ozma, so they can draw an additional card, and that is looking okay for them.
Yeah, it's actually looking pretty good. So getting an additional boost, but still we'll be able to just like progress for that upcoming turn. So would be there something left? No, I'm not sure. It would be actually funny if the Easy Talk would just like get removed now, and then there will be the double progress. Actually, it would be funny because
that is true indeed. Yeah.
But I don't know if any Varu hostage is running teamwork training or
they should.
They should. Okay, so maybe
should be running that card.
Guys, maybe we see something right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you could also just like put the Easy Talk to sleep. Would be just like enough. Yeah.
That is also true. Yeah.
So, but it will be the Raining Call again. Oh
boosting up even more.
Easy Talk. Yeah, so it will be that turn order.
They can now sleep the Easy Talk to have the most stats onto the Easy Talk going into next turn, and that's what they're looking to do. Still, the Basura can put the character with the most stats of them to sleep, so it's probably still contesting that Easy Talk more than they needed. But surprisingly, putting that Chiron to sleep, I would have thought that might be one of the better characters for the next turn.
That's true. So let's see where it is. Maybe just like cost for the Ospa, so just like having some boosted characters left for the draw, and the plate dancer, okay, just like getting removed.
Yeah,
So
probably just preferring those resupplies.
yeah,
And this now might become a tough turn for Matmatu if there's no more easy talk, but we only see one easy talk in reserve yet. So there can be just another easy talk that is played out onto that hero side here to just block anything that is going into companion side. And yeah, A.W.O.L is looking strong, but it's not playing well into a potential easy talk here.
It's true. So let's see. And okay, the Odyssey attorney will be played out. So we will see an additional killing burst would actually the killing cylinder would get inactivated. And a judge, riot judge.
Oh boy.
I don't get it.
Timeout. But yeah, there's one more minute to be played likely. There's the celebration day, so this game goes on for another day, but probably has to stall. Actually, this round is probably going to be, the clock is probably going to be stopping at -5, since we're already over the maximum round limit of 30 minutes. So we're likely looking to be seeing 3 to 4 more minutes of this game.
Yeah.
I don't yet. There might be some result, but no, it's actually ending now, and Matmatu is winning due to time. And yeah, the timing is always a bit weird. But actually, this one went to 35 minutes this round, so it's actually still that 35-minute round timer. And yeah.
So let's go back. So we were going to the 6th round. Would be amazing if this would be actually the last round. But we still got like 1 round go. It's still like 3 players being undefeated and sadly not playing against each other. So if you want, we can start to focus on the higher tables. We can also just like go to the just like to run in
I
table.
think table 1 is a very nice matchup with the genetic against Temperature Laneige, but we were looking at genetic the round before, so maybe we're going to table 2 and see if there's 2 undefeated players going into round 7.
Oh yeah, that's actually true. So it would be Warlights against Trotoa.
Oh, haven't we also looked at Trotoa today already?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe like a short time. I don't know if it was like a starting game. Maybe like a game.
Yeah, against Chocobar. Yeah.
Chocobar.
We were talking through that anyways. So
yeah. So it's okay that we're casting him because he basically didn't play that round. Yeah. He was just like waiting for win or if others. So we can go in. So I would say Warlights will be on a sickest bar without any landmarks.
Someone in chat saying ban Varro for good. You don't like fun? Well, unfortunate.
I mean, ban Varro for good. Actually, if I would be honest, if I could choose like of having like the old Varro where they were like being created a token and the old Robin Hood and now this one new hostage Varro, I would actually start to prefer the old Varro instead because it was a little bit more fun to play against it, if I would be honest. Yeah, it's like the hidden bleeding fun for only one side. Yeah. And I'm kind of interested in those new upcoming sets, how Varro went, because it's not looking good, guys. I'm scared. I'm scared for the upcoming Varro, actually. If I'm being honest, I'm actually really scared for that.
And listening to the MMAs, AMAs,
yeah,
Varro seems to be one of the Equinox favorite heroes. So yeah, that's also very scary for potential buffs for Varro.
That's
but
true.
Of course, now being the Varro player myself, I'm looking forward to that, right?
I'm not sure if I would looking forward, but
and we do see a Sigisma against a Fen here now on round 6. And yeah, Woolet's also looking to hit 600 elo again. I think that they already were on 600, but being a bit below it now, and also Woolet being one of the most consistent Sigisma players, always being on the top spots, losing very late into the tournaments, and looking to do the same here again. And of course, Woolet has one of my favorite Sigisma setups with these 1-1 troopers that are resupplying whenever a character joins your expeditions. And after playing a single character, already deciding to just pass the turn, because they know, well, anything they play will just be, that doesn't matter anymore, because any character going to either side is taking an expedition. So very, very nice knowledge of the matchups and not committing more resources than needed.
Yeah, actually, Cole, you missed out that actually we saw another Raru hostage gameplay, and it wasn't the Raru that actually got time out, it was the opposite. So the Raru just like won because the opponent reached out of maximum time limit. So the fan right now, Ruby is starting play with the Ouroboros Incaster, Magpie Hunter, and Magical Training in play. This would be just like a cool thing to just like play out the Magpie Hunter, getting like a free set liner at some point. Bleeding effect will not be that problem because it will play it out on the reserve like at any point soon. So yeah, RIP, yeah. I think this is just like a little bit more pain if you're getting like the timeout against the Raru hostage gameplay. So right now will be the turn of Sigisma. We still got like the foundry mechanic sitting there on the reserve. Still got like 4 mana left. They're like, even it's like the most funny thing is like, even if you're being on 4 mana with Sigisma, you have actually just like a possible chance of still playing out 3 characters with that because of those low costs. Just like being sitting there.
The only unfortunate thing here for this Sigisma, so they can't.
That's a 20.
They can't advance by only playing a single card here, which is probably the thing they would have preferred here. But playing that turn, getting the draw, and now also playing that foundry mechanic that is looking to block that Incaster on companion side, it's looking quite nice. So instead, the Fen is going to discard their Incaster and play out an Cernunos that we haven't seen in a while, but right now it's looking very strong. And yeah, Sigisma now has to decide to not draw off of their attorney, but instead play out their mechanic. So
still being able to
not the best resource wise, but of course still going even and also being relatively even on resources. But of course, Fen is Fen and gets an additional resupply each day. So being up 2 cards in reserve, but other than that, even game. So still.
So also just like interesting to see actually Cernunos being in play for Fen in general for a fan list. It's just like a card that was one of those rare cards that actually just like got dropped out with Drive by Frost. Was like, I would say like beside like Kodama back in that run, also just like a non-brainer that you're playing Cernunos in your fan list, because you don't have like actually quite that many rare cards that you actually need to have for fan to keep running. So got just like removed out for either just like more magical trainings or just like more of your goals or just like more spells in general to being back. So we will see Tanuki when you leave the expedition zone sabotage, discard a card from the reserve during again a sabotage. That's actually quite hurtful for a Sigisma, that you could be actually a possible chance of getting sabotage twice. So it's now again the chance that actually our Sigisma either just like playing out 1 card again, or just like saying, okay, at this point with 2 mana, there's only like a heifer that could potentially be played out, or Magpie Hunter for the companion side. I would just like actually take the pass and just like that progress, because every sabotage that we'll be getting out for our Sigisma is actually really painful at some point. So yeah, it seems like that the Sigisma we're getting just like passed by, something that I also would do. And
I would have expected a overseer or cadets if they are played out. That would also be quite good to be played out on hero side. But of course, passing is the player saying, well, I have nothing that is currently threatening hero side. And I just prefer not losing any materials. But of course, the sleeves open this Hathor that is actually being played out, and Fen taking the first lead here in this game.
Yeah, And it's still like hurting for Sigisma if it's just like being in this weird position that like the fan is being like in a favor right now with the expedition. But it's also just like the case if you start to throw out too many resources from your hand or your reserve, and then even if like a Sigisma being able to play out 3 to 4 characters, it's still like the chance that a single character could just like blocking out for it. So yeah, go fan killing. Yeah, actually, I can just like shout to both of them because I like Sigisma and I like fan, so it's like completely fine for me. Rice wins, and actually, I'm start to take a look on Rollights because he's like one of those Sigisma players that always finishing like with any loses or always like on top spots that actually don't play like any landmarks in the list. And I'm also start to thinking if I maybe just like drop out my landmarks because I don't want to play the Grand and the War and just like to keep the tiny chill as rare slot because I would prefer that. And maybe just like adding something additional to just like remove the Grand Endeavor from my Sigisma mirror matches. But let's see if I will continue to that. So whereas if you're losing, I will not copy your list. Just kidding. So we will see. You may put a card from your hand in reserve and then roll a die, gain 2 boosts, or if it's just like 1 boost, repeat the 2 boosts. Playing out the getting out the Tinkerbell on reserve. That's quite cool for our fan right now.
Yeah, it's card wise so far looking to be a rather beyond the gates looking
Oh,
list.
the Easy Talk.
And yeah, Easy
Okay,
Talks.
play it
This is
out.
one of the cards in Woolits that is not in a lot of other Sigisma lists. It's in this list especially because this list is running these resuppliers, and if you resupply your Easy Talk, you can just use that supportability to draw a card.
Yes.
But in spots like this, blocking out a very buffed up croupier and taking single advance this way to get even on the tumult is pretty good. So yeah, a tech card that can be played from hand, but of course is very solid when resupplied together with these uniques. Is looking to be a very, very nice card here.
That's true, and nice add from just the rate the uniques of Roulette forcing him to cut our high cost. Like yeah, that's true, but it's also just like a general thing. Like for me personally, if I would not like running a Grand and a War, then I wouldn't like run any other landmarks because then I would like most of the time I would prefer to play actually some other cards. like even more like a spell or like just like an additional character instead of like for example the monolith or like the Odyssey carrier, because they are like weird spots because you don't need the landmarks to actually win against any other deck. Actually, and for a mirror matchup, it's actually quite not that awesome if you're putting out the landmark at that case. And we're seeing the off you go going out to the token, and it's actually good because the Orders Trooper now being completely useless until like something else, like an Orders Cadets or something else, which is like getting out in play. And yeah, repeat your Orders Cadets getting out. Seems almost like that I play a little bit Sigisma during my private time. So being able to resupply and getting just like another kind of making from my point of view the fairness game very easy. Yeah, that's true. But maybe it's just like personal reference, because if I would like take in the Grand and the War, then I would just like cut out my tiny chills as rare slots. Because like the only rest that I would cut out, because other rest I would just like keep in Sigisma in general. That's usually being played. So we will see another Orders Cadets. We will see the Orders Trooper again. Okay.
Yeah, this one can again just be. This one can again just be Tinkerbell and
yeah, and it will be Tinkerbell.
And yeah, this is also looking good for expedition wise. The Sigisma currently not being able to win on the companion side. So yeah, going 1 for 1, limiting the resources for the Sigisma. And they do have that off you go again for the token that the Sigisma is producing, but they do already have that cadets that go alongside with the trooper, so they do get that definite resupply. So actually they can now, whenever the trooper is played out, just off you go that trooper, and that is probably a good trade for them. Getting rid of 2 uniques already like this should be quite nice for the fan, and this might be resource limiting enough for this Sigma that Fen might be able to take this one, but of course I'm not sure if that's actually the case.
Yeah, that's true. And also, like, already Cole answered in the chat, it was like that Codicil entering doesn't seem like it should trigger the trooper. It's actually like that because there's like a possibility that's like it's like actually still activating because there's like only the thing of if you control a token, so you're just like playing out the cadets, triggering the token out first, and after that you're resolving the effect of the Orders Trooper that says if a character joins your expedition if you control a token. So yeah. So it would be also triggered in real life. It's also like the effect of if I would play like a token spammer that says if you control a token, then you can create an additional token and you play out the Orders cadets, then you're playing them out, creating the token, and the effect of the token thing like the Orders Trooper is still not just like activated because it's still like in this limbo that actually so, but there's like, as Justin said, there's like a quite weird stuff still. It's like when like actually effects being resolved at the same time and when you actually can be choose out of that limbo. It's still like weird because on Board Games Arena sometimes stuff happens like completely different than in real life, and because more games actually happen on Board Games Arena at some point, maybe it's still just like. It's just like still weird, but I also would say like that you're still being able to resupply with those Orders cadets because you can choose the effect of the token first and afterwards the Orders Trooper. So the check force cutting played out and we see the a cappella training actually getting exhaust. So it's still got 5 mana left for our fan for hand cuts, so still a lot of chances to just playing something out and repeat the Heifer. So being able to at least progress also right now on the hero side, still got 3 mana left, so
yeah, I would hope to see an Anansi here alongside that Hathor, but Hathor currently not doing a lot since it's just getting already blocked out by the troopers, and yet this might be a tough turn if there's now no Anansi, or even if there's an Anansi, this is still a losing play into a removal like teamwork training. So yeah, this is a very threatening position here for Fen, and the Sigismund might be able to close this one out this day.
It's true. So closing it
also
out.
Be a slow play in a 1 cost maybe and a mech ping, but yeah, Rulets has limited the amounts of slow plays with exhausting that acapella training. Yeah, but it is the Anansi for now, and if there's no teamwork training, this is just game.
Yes, this is game. Yeah, so you also still it's still like with the Athena, you can entering it, giving it fleeting, and then losing it fleeting, because as I remember from the rules, but I'm also just like knowing the stuff that's going on Board Games Arena, and there's actually not the thing that always like that the effects will happen at the same time. So there's always like a list of actions that just like going activate, and you can choose from that. If there's like not anything specific set on the deck on the card.
The question about Athenas is the basic is the same question about Hua Mulan that basically has the same effect, and yeah, that Hua Mulan is getting the fleeting of the so if you're playing a Hua Mulan from reserve, you could I think you could basically play it into, when you're playing it from reserve, you could play it into Akolano Milk Lane to first have it gain fleeting from the gate game, then remove the fleeting, and then have it regain fleeting from the milk, and that should give even two counters onto a potential Iceborne peak.
Yeah,
if I'm right on that. And
at the end, how I learned it, like for any card game, you cannot buy the food and cook at the same time, but you can choose if you just like start to put on, for example, the oven, and then just like going to the supermarket and buy the pizza, or just like buying the pizza and then starting the oven and wait. So it's like always like how I remember that there are like rare actions that actually happen at the same time. Like for example, the Ouroboros Incaster. When you play both of them, they're going both back to reserve. Then it's just like a trigger effect that's like happening at the same time, so that you're being able to put both of them back to your hand. But still there you can choose if you're choosing the first Ouroboros Incaster effect or the second one, and then like you can choose between the cards.
And we do see that a third unique now coming out for Woolits here, and that Paper Herald that is also just resupplying whenever anything enters the expeditions. And I would expect now to see that a Jack Frost hit the board and just exhaust this Anansi here already. But then it can, of course, be returned through the Hathor, which might not be the greatest. But of course, that 3 cost with one less boost from hand is quite tough for the Anansi here. But of course, that is still something to consider for Woolits here. But of course, being on 9 mana with basically infinite value and putting out so many, or resupplying so many cards through that Paper Herald is still a very winning position here for Woolits.
Yes. And yeah, it should be also give like 2 triggers, but yeah, it's right. It could be just like the Herald, could be also just like play out the Slate of Hand and putting back the Anansi to get another card in the reserve, as you mentioned. So let's see how it will go on. Body Jack Frost seems good for our Sigismund right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we do see that Jack Frost here now, but yeah, actually exhausting the Hathor to prevent more slow plays and resupplying a Frog Prince that we don't usually see in a lot of other Sigismund lists, but in this one it's making sense because, well, it's a 1 cost and it's just a resupply when you have these uniques out.
Yes. Yeah, so the Frog Prince will be played out. We'll see an additional Orders Trooper coming out to play, and the Anansi we're just like getting chosen. So getting those boosts, being a 5 stats, so still 5 mana left for our Sigismund, being able to just like easily play out the Baba Yaga and the Orders Trooper. So
I have recently seen the first very nice loop for a Sierra list, since someone's mentioning they have a unique Athena that is able to get boosts when a token is created, and I saw a loop from a Sierra that is just returning cards whenever a token is created, and the loop was based around that card having 2 mechanical trainings and a Brassbug Hive in play, so you can basically just play out your mechanical trainings, get back a mechanical training, and create as many brass bugs as you want. And that was an interesting combo. It didn't actually end up winning for them, since I was a Varu, and there's not much to do into a Varu with stats. But yeah, that was still funny to see. Just a loop for a good unique for a Sierra list.
Yes. So let's see how this game will end. So
it's still looking very tough. Actually, the Fen can return their Hathor to hand and play that one out again. But maybe they have something more efficient here. Yeah, actually that teamwork training is looking very scary for the Anansi. And the Trooper alone should pretty much shut down anything that is going into the hero side. Unless there's another Anansi here for the Fen that would be looking, or also a rare Mechpeng that would be a 4/4 and contesting that Trooper alongside the Jack Frost. But yeah, if Woolits just plays out Trooper first and then can react to whatever the Fen is doing here, they can just teamwork training the target that they think is more threatening, and yeah, that Arway is blocking, but not progressing themselves. So Woolits wouldn't even need the off you go, the teamwork training, but still uses it for the double advance and is taking the game therefore.
It's taking the game, so conquest on that. GG. So we will see. Well, it actually would be funny if Wallet and actually Genetic would be on the final table. So we will see
Yeah.
like a final match for that.
But Tempest de la Neige won against Genetics, so yeah,
Oh.
it's an altered aces against DSL.
Yeah, I mean, it's also fine.
Yes.
It is also completely okay. It's also completely okay.
And unfortunately, Freeloader lost this round as well. So 3 losses already. No Basira entry. That is unfortunate to see.
Yeah. Sad. So still some games going on. And yeah. So at least it would be a final match, right?
Yeah.
Who's going 7-0? Yeah. So and which table we could still just take a look at. Haven't figured out the Siki matchup yet. Yeah, it's also actually a hard matchup. So yeah, if you want, we can just join into table 26. It would be Pakokso against Gogol.
Sure.
Two players I never heard of before, so maybe quite interesting what they're playing. And it's being a Rune festival.
Oh,
that's amazing.
That is nice. And a Basira with a Magic Slant, and I like that. I'm playing that card in my Basira list as well, but I'm still on a bit of a different list. I'm just using Giants. I just like my Giants, and then Basira, those are great. Play Giants.
Yeah. Don't cheer to Rune, because I don't want to have a day where I only play against Basira, Giants, Atlas, and just getting giant characters out of the board.
Yeah, that is fun.
No. No, actually not.
It is.
No.
It's good against Sigisma as well. That's the best part about it.
Yeah, that's even the worst part. Don't play something that is good against Sigisma. I've been Sigil with Leshi, but now try to balance for the other matchups. It's true, but the interesting question is, will our Rune be able to just getting the win out with the Lyra Festival? So we will see the Chiron actually being played on the Hero Expedition, and now Pakokso just decides to choose. Yeah, just the effect of the Chiron and also the effect of the Basira. Okay. So we still got the Lord Kelvin and your extra target card on reserve. Each player puts the top card of the deck in their mana zone, but it's just any reserve card and any card that's just being able to get anchored. So let's see how this will go on. Still 7 mana left, so maybe there will be a potential of just a removing spell, like a mana reaping, if it's not played out. No.
Yeah,
okay. So let's see.
If I already have the game open, I should maybe also have it open on my screen and look at the uniques and not look at the stream. That would probably be beneficial. And yeah.
It seems maybe
one more anchor, and this is looking good for the Rin, unless there's of course a removal spell here. And the Aloe is that anchor, that missing anchor. And now it comes down to the last card here of the Basira, what they have.
Yes. Would it be the mana reaping?
Yeah.
That is the question right now. But still 1 mana left, so I would telling out now that maybe actually it would be good to just focusing on the first phone. And there's something in Spanish. I would say it's I don't speak Spanish. I'm sorry guys, but maybe it's something like ha, you won with the Lyra Festival. Maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Who knows?
So Pakoko, so you can just choose it's for the helping hand, but this will be not enough, sadly. So congrats on win. Taking the game.
I am googled what that means, and
Yeah.
it's not nice.
Oh. I also want to Google it now. Oh, there's something still like going.
He could have dropped Fleeting of the Persephone. That is actually true, yeah.
Oh, and I know. If you're just like translating it to German, it's like not that hard because it's like they would say like something that is common. But I know. Okay. Let's jump back into the main page. So we were going to. There's still like rounds going on. So who will be the last table to play? And it would be Joe against Kaifu. So if I'm going to Kaifu now, and there will be like 2 billion bots. Okay, will not be the case. Will not be the case for now.
Okay.
All right.
No uniques and no Ouroboros. Did
Yes.
Yo once again manage to play Banishing Gale onto a Ouroboros? That's the second time we see Yo face an Ouroboros deck this day.
Yes, it's true. And just like putting down double
huge Spindle Harvester.
And there will be the mechanical training actually being played out, and we will see the Killing Burst.
Also, yeah, that is better than the Avalanche, since the Avalanche currently can't hit that Spindle Harvester. And we do see a Moose that is now kind of protecting that expedition at least. And oh my god, I just got a deck list shared, and I love it. There's a Quetzalcoatl with the tokens you control gain gigantic, and I love it.
Oh no, I don't know if I want to see. Okay.
Yeah, now this should be the final round of final game of the round. So we should be going into round 7 now. And yeah, it's already up. So our final for today is DSL Rulets against Tempeta Lanesh from Altered Aces. And
that's awesome.
Should be a Farnas against a Sigismar here in the finals. Both players very close in elo, 600 against 597. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, just calling. So let's go back. The 7th round. Whew. Okay, still 30 minutes, guys. And then is I'm still disliking this player. Yeah. And I know the reason, guys. I can show you the reason, because there's like a certain deck that I don't want to play against it. So let's see if this will still be the case, so that I can use the farms down. But this game is still loading. Rune when you're free, see by link on PM of BGA. Oh no.
Yeah, that's I got shared a Varu list. Maybe. And yeah, the list is looking quite nice. There's token generators, there's draw, there's giant characters, the giant tokens. I like it.
So actually, there was a question from Yikes. Couldn't he just like drop Fleeting on the Fervous phone with the helping hand? To just like stopping to winning with the
yeah.
Oh yeah,
that was possible, yeah.
But the problem is Yikes, he just like to prefer using mean words. So yeah. And if you're just like focusing on that instead of playing, then it will be hard for you. But going into the hard way, because both of them is like actually getting hard for them to actually closing out to finish with any losers, because Eva Snowstorm, I remember how it is in English, so I don't need to spell out the French name, is playing against Rolla. So Sigisma against Athena is the, I would say, oldest matchup, classical matchup in general. So let's see. And I actually realized both of them almost got 600 elo. That's pretty amazing.
It's quite good, yeah.
Yeah, so let's see how this will go on. We already saw like Baba Yaga being as the starting point, always good for the Sigisma, being on a double progression and a magical training for our Athanas.
Yeah, and this is basically a Conjuring Seal opener for the Athanas, and I really like this against Sigisma when they are not on Grand Endeavor, and from Roulets we know that there's no permanence at all, so this is quite a nice setup. I'm still not too familiar with the Sigisma into Sigisma like this, how good that matchup actually is, but yeah, that's definitely Conjuring Seal or getting 2 draws on day 1 is definitely quite nice, even if you're going down to expeditions.
And
It often can still be worth it, but yeah, Monolith Gate already looking quite nice, sabotaging potential cards going into reserve here. But if there's a Moth to Flame is taking on hero and companion, and that is a trait without losing materials, but unfortunately not getting a boost on the Spindle Harvester yet.
Yeah.
But, still
maybe like
the
next time.
Yeah.
Maybe like the next time. So being able to progress forward, and those are like some of those rid mechanics actually, where if we see like a Sigisma being on that set of the game, there's like also like a small chance that this would be like actually continuing like that at some point. But I still have the feeling that our Athanas, of course, can just like getting out a good comeback. So with the Spindle Harvester still being in play, just like the Moth to a Flame for the upcoming starting turn, getting a nice character still like being on one of those expedition sites and being able to boost also one of them. So what let's just like choose to stay on the mana. So let's see what Athanas will do right now. Maybe like some possible chains. And as you said, we're also it would be the Mage Dancer that will be played out. So
I would expect now to see the gate going into that Mage Dancer expedition, just to sabotage that as soon as it leaves the expeditions, and then afterwards try to play a bit more for the hero side.
Yes, it could be like that. So quite interesting how it will went. So, but no, we actually see the Orchestra will be played out.
Yeah.
All right.
First resupplier here, and that one is requiring the tokens, so potential off you go for the recruits. But for now, just using magical trainings a bit as an after you to see where the Moth to a Flame can efficiently go, and actually the gate now not being too efficient if it's played out, because even if you're getting that sacrifice, you're only sacrificing it gets the sabotage, but sabotaging one card when there are kind of 3 valuable targets in the reserve. So
Yes.
you would have had to discard one of those anyway, but of course getting Mage Dancers out is still very nice. But yeah, it's if you're playing for that hero side now, you are going down very low on stats to fight against moths that are going to be on that hero side.
So let's see how this will going to be an end. So right now we will see the Monolithic Gate being out again on the hero side actually, and the Tiny Chill.
I would now expect to see magical training and 2 boosts onto that Mage Dancer to have it dodge Tiny Jail and get 2 boosts, 2 draws out of it.
Yeah. That will be it. Still got like this Arrow Sigma got 2 mana left, so let's see how this will come to
Maybe
an end.
another attorney or legate from hand.
Yeah,
Don't
could
know.
be, but just like passing it out because still like being the chance of if our Sigma would be the starting player, that the mage chancer could be just like played out at some point, needs to be played out, and then afterwards just like using the tiny jail for it.
It's an inefficient mana trade, but still oftentimes probably just good enough. And I would expect to see a discard of the Moth to a Flame, even though it's a quite decent spell to have around.
Yes.
Especially from reserve.
So let's see how this will go. And so
So still, definitely, I would still favor this this Sigma, but of course, Afanas having a lot of tools available to them to contest this. But of course, the Sigma also having a lot of tools with these resuppliers, and yeah, it's looking okay for each player. But of course, being 2 expeditions ahead at this point, I would still favor the Sigma, and yeah, they do have just a ton of value available to them here.
Yeah.
Both players basically slow playing with these troopers and spindle harvesters, and seeing whatever the opponent is doing. And yes, Sigma just has a lot of one-cost characters.
Yes,
we do
true.
see another Foundry mechanic here.
And the True Fairy, and actually decides to just like remove the Orders Trooper.
Yeah, 2 times in a row we see that Trooper be resupplied by the other Trooper, and afterwards just getting sabotaged. And yes, still Bullets is getting 2 uses basically out of his Trooper here, but of course losing that second Trooper already is quite unfortunate, so not as much value in the future as they would maybe hope for. And yeah, this but of course if they find another Paper Herald, maybe even, it's still fine. And they do see that Eternity might just be able to draw.
Able to draw and just like using teamwork training, and actually choosing out the Studio Disciple. So this would be a Mage Dancer into an Helping Hand, if this would be like the decision to play out. So
yeah, this is, I would kind of still, yeah, it's a good question on what do you prioritize here. Probably just playing removals, but none of these removals is actually very efficient. And if you're playing removal, the most efficient is likely gonna be removing that Spindle Harvester that looks to be anchored and stick around for the next turn. And yeah, Bullets does decide to play the teamwork training, and now it's the question.
To actually progress on one side at least. That's good. I actually also just like was thinking of just like play out the Orders Attorney to just like draw on the next turn, but then remembered, with the Spindle Harvester and just like the Mage Dancer plus any spell that would be played out.
If there's a Helping Hand here, this is looking super good for the Afanas. Taking double advance here and getting back under the mold.
And that's
exactly what they're looking to do here. Most likely putting 2 boosts onto that Mage Dancer, or 1 on that companion side, to take the double advance there, and
being able to double progress. It's actually kind of hard right now. So that's like one of the cool things of the resupply, being able to just like getting out those chiefs, but resupplying like 2 removals like from the last turn and the upcoming turn right now that we saw, it actually seems pretty hard. So the Orders Attorney would be also just like a way of play out and then additionally draw a card, but it's actually just like to stick refer for the upcoming turn, so that you don't need to just like relate it and stay on those removals for the next turn in reserve. So yeah, seems hard, but right now Afanas seems to be back on the track thanks to the Mage Dancer and to the Helping Hand, but couldn't start off with the Mage Dancer right directly because there's still like the Tiny Chill being on the reserve. So let's see how this will end. And we will see another Tooth Fairy, so goodbye to Tiny Jail, actually.
Yeah. Looking super good here for Thanos.
Yes.
Now, if there's no sabotage, they can just play out Mage Dancer plus Helping Hand, get a 4/4 character, get the Mage Dancer back to reserve, and also get the draw. And then whatever they have left in hand, they do still have 2 mana afterwards and can slow play a bit more with spells or whatever
Yes.
they favor to do. But this day is already looking like this should be at least trading, and this should likely just be favoring the Afanas.
At this point, definitely, yes. So, got the Audit Attorney. I mean, there's still like some options left. So, to actually take this out, so let me check. Just like he listed, actually getting one.
Seeing that Attorney here makes me think that there's another removal spell here for the Mage Dancer in hand for the Sigma, because you probably wouldn't just play out the Attorney if you didn't want to hide your hand a bit.
Yes.
And I would expect that Attorney usually to just be played into Mage Dancer lanes. But no, actually, Woolitz decides to... It's not worth to contest this Mage Dancer, so he's just focusing on that hero side, trying to get that 1/1 this day. And yeah, this is just looking to be a nice setup for Tempest.
Yes, definitely.
Just
so
boosting
still like
that.
got 3 mana left. Checking out actually the deck list right now, and I would say even like with those 3 mana left, it seems actually pretty hard for the upcoming turns for Rollites, because there is like, beside the fact, of course, like a Jack Frost that can just like exhaust something, or like a Monolithic Gate or an Easy Talk, or just like one of those removals. There is like, for example, not like any Sandband to just like pretending for at least 1 turn the progress at any point. And also there's just like 1 Tiny J and 3 Teamwork Stranding actually, and this 1 Tiny J already got like removed. And so even with those sticky note seeds that are like just like complete, basically like not working at all for like against the Afanas at a certain point, this seems pretty hard for Lights, but maybe there's just like the paper Harvard that could be there for a potential comeback still in hand, and being enough resupplies right now to being back on track. But as it seems right now, this would be an awesome spot for our Afanas right now here, with the Mage Dancer still being left in reserve.
Yeah, they kind of has to be a sabotage again now for
Yes.
Mage Dancer. But even if there's the sabotage, there might just be a second Mage Dancer waiting in hand to just get a bunch of boosts. And yeah, this is definitely a spot that should always be a Afanas favorite, being ahead in cards and going second as well. And yeah, now also being up 1 mana with getting that discounted Mage Dancer from reserve. So yeah, it's definitely Woolitz's turn to make something happen here and get back, or kind of draw cards and yeah, it's yeah. I'm not sure what cards can be left here for Woolitz.
Yes, and Tempete, yeah, it's looking good for Tempete right now, being at the spot state. But oh, here we go, the Easy Talk.
Easy Talk is nice, but it's very weak into cards like Joyride that are giving 3 boosts, or Mage Dancers that are potentially getting even more boosts. And I know that Tempest was running Joyrides at some point. I'm not sure if that's still the list.
That's
but
a good question.
yeah, Mage Dancer are also looking to potentially just outstat that Easy Talk. Even
but
though
also the Helping Hand
not
would be
quite
enough.
nice. Yeah, Helping Hand
For
is
that, just like playing out
also
the Helping Hand twice. Yeah, just like remove the fleeting, getting additional boost, getting again an additional boost, just like playing it out again, or just like choose like something else. So that seems pretty hard.
No, also with that Harvest on play, they could also just play out one more magical training and immediately return it back to hand at dusk, and then just get as much value out of this as possible, and likely discard the Harvester plus the Tooth Fairy at dusk, or at rest during risk. rest to just have these mage dancers stick in reserve.
So going to pass, one expedition left. So just like is Tempered running a small step? Do you know that?
I'm not sure.
Not sure.
But if he today, so yeah.
Yeah. So if he then GG. Congrats to Athanas for winning the game. So Tempered is living the dream that you want to live yesterday.
That is true.
Yeah, that's true. No? Yeah, sometimes Athanas is winning, sometimes Sigismund is winning, but at least we can be sure that one of those being on the final table.
Yeah.
So
actually, last week we had a few final tables without
that's true.
Without either of these heroes. So yeah,
it's true. But maybe yesterday
still the
yes
ones that show up the most, but we do occasionally get other matchups.
Justin, you're right. We yesterday went to a Tumult on Schön Eiche on the store Cards and Cards.
Cards and Arts. Yeah.
Cards and Arts. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Cards and Arts with the store owner named of Annie. And we were like 9 players. Was amazing. And it was also like the first time that Rune and I just like met in real life.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I've got like dropped out on top 4 and Rune being second place. There was a player that actually only played turn-based games, as he told me, that's got in first place. Quite interesting because I know some players that actually playing like a lot of games online. And just like playing like turn-based games, so not playing like any tournaments at all. I invited him to the tournaments and said, hey, maybe you just should join in if you like to play, but he got like time was struggling. I actually showed off those Tumult cards that I've run. They're like, oh wait, here's my camera. They're like amazing, actually good quality. I'm if I'm honest, like actually awesome quality for that. Have you hired the winner? Actually not. I just like promote him to join the tournaments. So we have an additional German players, and Tempered actually taken out the game with the beauty sleep. So congrats on him. GG. Won all 7 rounds. That's impressive. Yeah. Maybe the last time that he's a player that is getting win all 7 rounds, if there's like a turn back at some point.
Yeah, you're just hoping for the 6 rounds again.
Yeah, I was hoping for that because I always like, maybe it's just like a personal point of view. Yeah, Alderaan Ace is winning again. It's just like maybe a like a point of personal view, because I would say, like, for example, like for the tournament for the AQZ, if there would be like more than 128 player, I would like never increase to 7 rounds at any point. I would prefer to just like open a second tournament, because I'm always have like the point of view of like actually people that just like want to play, and also just like want to wake up early in the morning like again. So it's okay for me basically, because at the end there is like, if you have like a finishing tournament, like a big tournament at the end, and there you have the chance to prove if you're being the best of the best of the best. So if it's like a weekly run tournament, but it's just like a personal point of view, maybe. There are like people preferring 7 rounds. It's totally fine for me. It's also just like fine with the time. But I can quite understand if people are like saying after the 4th or 5th round, I can also just like drop. That would be it for me. So talking about drop, we could just like drop into another game, because there's still some games going on. If you want, we can take a look on the second table, because they're still playing. It's Popeye against A.Craft. If you want to.
Yeah, sure.
And talking about dropping off, it's actually an overtime by 0 against Sigismund. So Freeloader, you could start maybe take some notes about this matchup, because like being able to get into the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So let's see.
And is TCA a new team? I've seen that logo now from 2 players.
Check it. TCA. Being in France, I mean, at the end there are like so many French teams. I don't know. But it's like something different. So yeah, guys, if you like Alderaan and you want to play it like regularly on every day, just move on to France.
Yeah.
Just move on to France. It's actually simple. Just move on. Just move on there. Take a job there. Just like live there. And you're being able to play out the axiom erasures. So putting a card from hand. So resupply trading card angels. Okay. Actually a funny name. And oh, there will be like 2 Ecludes.
That
It's
is
just like
crazy.
a double. It's just like a double putting card to resolve. That's funny.
Yeah.
So there, like the Provost Tracer will be get in play, and I would say
This should be very strong here with the Acludes.
there's like no teamwork
not
training.
even sabotage is effective into this, and yeah, teamwork training would have to be 1 cost into teamwork training.
And ooh,
But
mass
yeah,
boost.
there's mass boosting, but this shouldn't be enough to compete into these Acludes that are now getting 3 boosts from themselves, the Bastions, and actually getting a 4th boost due to the Viscera hero ability.
Oh, North friends were a bit more struggling in the South-less event, but can still play in person event. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I have like a friend of mine that was like in my class living in south of France. She married like, that's why I remember like the story. It was, and I remember just like the pictures that she showed me on the south of France. It was looking actually amazing. I can check out I forgot the name of the I forgot it. Typically German, right? Forgetting the name.
Of course, knew the team.
Yeah, knew the team. It was not Monaco. It was Montpellier. Around that, just like on the south, just like on the beach. Typically like beach village vibes, like in my perspective when I watched it. But it was like not Missile or something like that. Or was it Canis? It was also just like near Switzerland, as I remember. And I know that because I was actually working on the French side of Switzerland, I would say like that. It was amazing. So sometimes I was like moving to Pontelier for like the vineyard where we were working out. That was interesting because everyone was speaking French. It was on Ligards. It called Ligards, yeah. And then we moved like a little bit until there. I'm near from Switzerland. Oh, yeah, Julian, that one, yeah. She was living like there. So, and talking about that, maybe we can also announce now the winners of the tournament? No, there's some games going on.
I'm currently on as Lopez against Damien, but this game is over now. There just has to be they not only has to be the pass left, but I think there might still be some other games left running.
Yeah, Overloss against Petty Scarra, one of the last tables. So
Okay.
Overloss being represented 3 times in a row. You're near from Switzerland. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. That's awesome, Tonis. So yeah, let's see how this will go on. But I would say at the end, it was an amazing tournament, right? We saw actually one of the rare times that we don't see, like, maybe it's like not that rare, but it's like what I wanted to say, actually quite amazing that we didn't saw like 200 Afanas and 200 Sigis just like playing some different decks. Sadly, not any Tisha being represented on the stream.
Oh, true.
Yeah. But maybe I should just like take a look closer on some awesome Tisha players to say, hey, we can watch that game. Yeah, it's a pretty cool student city, and she also lived there before. So it was amazing through the pictures. And I remember that when we were like driving to Spain, once like with a big bus, and we were driving like a little bit through France. Besides like Paris that we're visiting like one day, we also just like decided to drive like on the south coast instead of the north coast, because there we can see a little bit more about the country, because we were driving almost like 2 days with like a stop for sleep, because we were starting off in Germany and then to France for a stop, and then almost like to the north coast of Spain. And then we decided, so it's like doesn't matter if we're just like driving a little bit longer or just like directly going in there, because we will arrive at the night anyway. It was amazing. It was amazing. We did like a big European tour as a class. I visited like many countries. It was cool. So yeah, seeing like the Tiny chase going on.
The Tiny J is removing one of his own characters. That is not the correct card.
I imagine Overlord's face right now because it's like one of our local store players. One of the most dedicated. He was like just like collecting Pokemon before and now started to play Autored, like his bigger first card game after Yu-Gi-Oh! Like in the days. He played Yu-Gi-Oh! Before, yeah. We got like a really big Pokemon scene here in Dresden where you always have like 40 to 50 people like in the store. But it's actually like, how can I say it? Is there someone watching from Dresden? Yeah, I don't care actually. Just like want to say that the local play from our Pokemon here in our city is like, I don't want to say like weird, but it's like actually quite interesting what persons are actually running through the store. And so it's like, even if the game is like amazing, and I love Pokemon the TCG because it's like amazing to play and it's like one of the cheaper TCGs that you can easily play. It's sadly that like the persons that are playing, even if they're like 2 to 3 cool persons that are playing it, the rest of them are like kinda hard. Kinda hard persons. So yeah, so he decided also to start Autored, and it's amazing that he's playing because we don't have like that many players here in our city. Sadly, but maybe it will change in the future. So passing it out, and there would be like an additional turn. It's interesting.
That was such a gamble by removing the Anansi instead of the Magpang.
Yes.
And it kind of backfired still.
Yes. So,
But that Cloud Cocoon here
Maybe
not doing a lot.
just
The
like
Aftergirl not doing a lot.
apparently upcoming tournaments, yes.
We just
So,
only see the pass. This is the last game running, right?
Yeah, it's the last game running. So Ripity, open the gates.
Open the gates.
Oh,
A
lot of cards, lot of boosts now. But actually, still at this point, the fan would be able to just like with a Anansi to at least block like the Hero Expedition and also to progress.
Yeah, but there's still the Frog Prince waiting for that play.
Yeah, that's true. I would say there was like a small step giant leap that actually got thrown out.
Okay.
Yep.
Good call.
Yep. It will be the small step giant leap. Yes? Please?
Yes?
Pettiscara? You can do it. Pettiscara. Just play it out. It's okay. Don't be shy.
Yeah. Actually,
And okay, it would be just like the off you go, but then it seems like
that's not enough so far.
yes.
And a 2-mana 4/4/4 would be a Magpang, but not enough cards on reserve. So Magpang not even blocking that, and of course,
Yeah.
Gulrang still has cards left, mana left, so they can put out even more boosts. And yeah, I think there's no way for this fan here to come back.
And I would say, yeah. That's it. GG. And there will be the teamwork training for sure. So, GG to Overlords. And actually, Gurang is the deck that he will stick to it. Even if we like said, yeah, for the 2 modes, you could just like put in Sigiswar and it would still like running, like in our head, it would be like running better. He was like, no, I will stick to him forever. And so, talking about that, this forever tournament coming to an end, and we're actually getting like a nice matchup, final matchup. At the end, 101 players showed up for the last round, still being like, I can quickly check, 52 players still played the tournament. That's amazing. So here we go. So congrats to Tempted, the Snowstorm, for taking out the first place. Also GG to Genetic getting out the second place. and also to Akref and Damien and Arthur Hurricane, Rollites for actually just like finishing the tournament with 6-1 and taking a spot on the top 8 and adding to that GG to Kaifu, to Joe, to Clem, to Popeye Road, to Essa Lopez, to Benno, to Popeye, Phantom Better, Haver44, David Gaps, and Dudu. For actually finishing the tournament with 5-7, but as I remember, it's only the top 16 that actually getting the invitation, right? So, but still, congrats to all of those who finished it like 5-7 or even like better, and also for everyone
5-2 and better, and those are all getting their entry on 39 cards.
So at least getting the entry. So yeah, Pfeiffer would be hosted on 39 cards. Yeah, that's true. And if someone of them already just like qualified, then you're just like getting like a place. So you're still getting like qualified. So 5-7 would be hosted on 5-2. Yeah, I was on the same trip. I was on the same trip. No, but actually, congrats to everyone finishing it out and played until the end. So thank you so much for joining in, guys, to the stream. Thanks again, Rune, for joining in on the stream. Actually, I was like the co-host, as you mentioned, because you're just like being on the run. We're just like using my PC to cast it. And and for the upcoming weeks, I can actually, before I forget it, shout out the upcoming tournaments. So at the first, there will be the AQZ Season 3 Wildcard Tournament that will be played. Just kidding, it's the A Season 3, hosted by Kurabi. So if you want to take a chance of going in, it's actually a good time for us here in Europe at 11 tomorrow on Tuesday. So if you want to take a chance, just like join in. See enough players going on. It's actually a KO system, so you're just like being able to it's just the single elimination. So just like being able to maybe just like also qualified for that. Beside that, on the upcoming day, there will be the No Unique Championship, and championship. We're coming out to week 6, so this will be like the first tournament, and we're not allowed to play uniques at all. And as you can see, already 22 players, always also getting like around 100 players. So if you're getting tired of just like using always like uniques and getting like loose to like the best out of the best, and then join in, because there are like so many amazing players joining in the tournament, and I'm so happy to that like a tournament like that exists, and it's getting cast on Freeloader's channel. So Freeloader, if you want, you can like put in the link. So if you want to join in the stream, then just like go to Freeloader, and maybe some of us is like sitting there, maybe like Killing is sitting there, maybe Freeloader was sitting alone. Whoever would like joining in, so take a spot, and at the end it will be on Thursday. There will be our own tournament. Actually, it's getting run, and there will be the AQZ Championship.
On Wednesdays is also the A.W.O.L's Wednesdays. So
the A.W.O.L Wednesday. I'm sorry,
on Thursday night for Europeans actually.
Just like wanted to state the audio for European, but the A.W.O.L Wednesday, but it will be at 1 a.m. So if you want, just like join in. I can quickly like open the links. So yes. So here we go. It's tournament. You will see us me. You will see us Rune. You will see Freeloader. You will see actually Keenan, because they decided completely for free to always being on cast. But just like join in, and and something else. So do you want to just like shout out something for the end of the stream? And beside the Wednesday hour that you already shouted out?
Well, other than that, I think I haven't actually streamed myself in a while, but I'm also sometimes streaming my own gameplay. Penny also told me once again that I should be streaming a bit more of hostage gameplay and just be a meme streamer for meme gameplay. I don't know, and maybe also Penny is streaming a bit more himself on gameplay.
Yes,
you're planning that at least.
I'm planning that, yeah. So just follow Runefolk. Also like the things that always like going after our name. Just like go to my streaming channel. If you want to follow in, I tried out to stream a little bit more up beside like the fact of the tournament, and because someone told me that I should do that, like not only Ron, but like more people said I should start to cast. beside the cast, just like the stream. And also, if you want to see like a YouTube video of mine, I want to try out like this YouTube stuff. You can actually just like subscribe to Paandyandy if you want to, just like the same name. There will I talk a little bit about the two mods that I was joining in. So yeah, I would say that's it with the shoutouts. Something else left? Yeah, I'm not sure. No, actually, we said anything, right? Yeah, we didn't forget anything. If we forgot anything, just like put down a link on the commentary, so comment section. So yeah, at the end, thank you so much for joining in, and maybe we will see us on next Monday. Yeah, you will not be there on this next. What's the next Monday, right? For your birthday.
Yeah.
So
exactly,
maybe I will be there. Maybe someone else will be there. So yeah, thank you so much, guy, and bye bye.
Bye bye.